Hey everybody, it's Friday night. It's our favorite show of the week.
Yep.
It's Sidetracks.
Yep.
Where it's like we don't even pretend to try to have a topic. We just talk about it.
Yeah, well, we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. We're going to help you into the fucking weekend. You know, the work day is the work week is over.
For some people.
And we're already starting drinking.
Well, yeah.
And we can just do a review of the week, talk about old cases, anything that comes to mind. If not, we're just going to fucking ramble. We'll talk about all kinds of wild shit.
Got a couple of comments in here that, so excuse me, goodness, that I wanted to address. American Military says, have y'all heard of the Apartment 603 case? Ellen Greenberg was stabbed over 20 times, several of those in her back, and it was ruled a suicide.
Who is this?
Somebody got paid off there.
Yeah.
Hulu has a good docu-series about it. That sounds vaguely familiar.
She fell on that knife. She slipped, and she fell.
Yeah, like 20 times.
She fell, yeah.
It happens, man.
That's how that fucking toy Tonka truck got stuffed up that dude's ass.
Yeah.
He fell.
He fell on it. He was on a ladder.
It was on a ladder.
It could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And somehow his pants fell down. I lost some weight recently, and my pants just keep falling down.
Yeah, I was in the shower, and I slipped and fell, and the shampoo bottle went up my ass.
I'm sure they've heard it all.
Yeah, that was one I read about.
Yeah, I've heard that one too. Well, like I said, my sister for a long time, she's a graphic designer now, but for a long time she was billing for a GI clinic. Yeah. And she's like, some of the funny shit that, like the stories that people would tell her about how the excuses that they came up with for how something
it always involves
something weird.
It always involves falling.
Yeah.
I tripped and fell.
Like pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like hardly anything.
Fucking dudes fall on shit all the time and goes up their ass, like man. It goes up all their ass all the time.
They know that you stuck that up there. On purpose, okay, just don't even bother.
I was jogging, right, and I slipped, and I fell, and that fire hydrant went right up my ass. I don't know how it happened.
I could see you falling out of a fourth floor window and the fire hydrant going up your ass if you fell wrong.
That's a fucking power bottom right there. You can take the fire hydrant.
But, you know, shampoo bottle, that's not going up your ass unless you deliberately put it up there.
It's hilarious.
And then DVD Dragon said, I've been thinking about what Tom said about British actors being better. He's right.
Yeah,
just being charismatic and hot doesn't cut it over there. It is a trade.
Yeah.
Interestingly, along those same lines, here's another. Remember how we always say it's like we watch these series and stuff, and like you'll find out like later on that like one of the actors is British. I didn't know that the main girl in Fallout is British.
Yeah.
Because she's playing an American in the show. Yeah. And it never occurred to me.
Yeah.
And then like we were just watching, because Amazon Prime has like some of the little, after we watched the episode, there's like, it has all these little extras and stuff. And one of them had her doing like a little fake talk show thing. And I was like, is she's British too?
Yeah.
Everybody's British.
Yeah. Walton Goggins isn't British.
No, he's not British.
He's from Alabama. And he's playing just an epic Southern character, man. Fucking as the ghoul, and before he got turned into the ghoul, fucking back in the past, that is an excellent character. Fucking right now, if you ask me, I think he's the most popular American actor.
It's funny. I was skimming through Facebook for a minute earlier, and somebody had posted a meme. I don't even know who it was that posted it, but it said something like. Breaking news, actor Walton Goggins has had to go like get back surgery or something like that because he's carrying the entire Fallout franchise on his shoulders.
That's a little too much.
It was funny because it was like an example.
That entire fucking team is good.
Yeah, everybody in that.
All the supporting actors, fucking the side characters. There's a lot of cameos that happen in it, and the fucking writing is fucking fantastic. And then all the set design, just everything, the special effects,
just like the game.
Everything is spot on in the same fucking spirit as the game. You know, just everything, the culture of the fucking world that they're in, the racial makeup, the tone of the past and the post-apocalypse. It's spot on. That's exactly it. And second season, you're basically in Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And they fucking called it. And it is what I like about the series is that it's supposed to be campy on purpose at times, but it's got a lot of gravitas. It's got good characters. It's very American. It's very American. I like it. It's kind of true to the idealized American 1950s, but it's in the future. It's like Jetsons. It's like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And they captured it. Yeah, the cats are out there running around.
What the hell are they doing?
They're having fun chasing each other.
I think they're throwing that mousy around.
Yeah.
we find mousies in different places.
But I like the series so much, I fucking decorated this room next to it in Vault Tech stuff. And I ordered a bunch of Vault Tech stuff.
We're doing a Fallout theme in this
Fallout theme in that room. I might make a Fallout theme in the gym. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we got some stuff from Temu that we ordered.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
An atomic bomb, a neon sign with the fucking bobblehead fucking Pip-Boy dude.
It'll be cool, because one of the walls is painted kind of a Vault-Tec blue
Vault-Tec flags.
Color,
Yeah, because it's already blue.
We didn't do that on purpose.
Got Vault-Tec furniture.
Same room as the bedroom. Same colors.
Vault-Tec atomic bomb and Vault-Tec curtains. It's going to be a Vault-Tec theme.
Yeah. And that's just like a spare room.
Yeah.
Like, I was using that as my closet, but then I actually put the clothes in the closet in there.
Reorganize
it. Reorganize the closet.
It's a break room / possible guest room if somebody stays.
Yeah, like we have like a little couch that they could sleep on.
It folds out into a bed, yeah.
And there's like a mini fridge and a toaster and a microwave and an ice maker and shit like that in there. So, you know.
It's a full bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's kind of like a den. It's kind of like a little den right now.
That's kind of, we're using it as a sort of break room at the moment.
Yeah.
Which I also keep most of my clothes in there. Because I got a dresser. Tom got me a dresser for Christmas.
Yeah.
I desperately needed one.
Yeah.
So I finally got to put away like all my wigs and underwear and tights and shit like that. They were just piled in boxes.
We had so much expenses, man. I had to put a new roof on, 2 new outside units, redo the kitchen. So we kind of had to fucking scrimp on some of these rooms in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's a big house, and it's just kind of like, we only really use the bedroom and this, like my office. I decorated this
kitchen,
first thing.
garage.
Yeah.
You know, we use it.
It's just not as much. Like, there's a lot of room.
Got a big living room up here. I use it almost as a shop and build a motorcycle in it.
Yeah,
which
there's
crazy,
like furniture in it. There's like a couch and a TV and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of like we hardly ever. We put like some bar stools and stuff, and I was like, we could sit in there. I could sit in there and read or something like that. But I don't know. I never do.
I'm mocking up that RD350 in there, and I hate doing wiring into fucking Florida heat. So I'm gonna do all the wiring and mocking up, make sure everything fits and all the little fine details. The frames together, I can get that downstairs. That's no big problem. I got the motor over there, and I can assemble the motor and the frame separately and get the fucking bike down there, take the motor down and put it in fucking downstairs and fucking ride it out of here if I want to, when the day comes. But probably another 6 months. It'll be done this year.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm already posting photos, videos of it, and on Instagram, and linking them to like RD350. Fucking friend groups and shit, and I'm already getting good responses. One guy just went, "Hell yeah!" and then he posted pictures of his bike, and he's got a liquid cooled RD350 that's just totally fucking decked out. And I was like, I was jacked that the dude that owned that bike liked my bike. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going down the right path.
Man validation.
Yeah, I got that man validation. And I was talking to him about what kind of gauges should I put on it. And she goes, yes. He said, I said, fuck it. I didn't put any gauges. This is, I was in a hurry. So no tack, no speedo. He just ride it like that. Okay. Because those old bikes were not computerized. You don't need any of that shit. You could eliminate anything, everything. All the little idiot lights, the gauges. All you need is a fucking switch to turn it on. He didn't even have an ignition key switch. He just had a mechanical switch. You turned it in a hidden location, and the bike was on. You just don't leave the bike anywhere. But it's still a hidden switch. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to steal it. They probably wouldn't know how to start it. It's a kickstart.
CB said a while back, Jenny, I said a few weeks ago, I remember you saying this, but I think I didn't get to it. He said that the police found over 100 female belly buttons in a guy's home. They thought he was a serial killer, but he worked at the morgue and was taking them from bodies. Wow. Current count is he had 178 female belly buttons in his collection.
Well, what were
his of Ed Gein and the box of vulvas?
Was keeping totems from, But what was the deal though? I mean, were they all the belly buttons of girls that he thought were cute, or would he steal an old lady's belly button?
Take anybody. Was he like picky about the belly button?
I think, you would think.
You would think they'd probably be picky.
He's like,
because,
she
like
got
I said,
cute
it's
belly
a fetish
button.
thing. So
she cute. I'm taking her shit.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I want that one. Like,
yeah,
it's just I don't think you would just take any old belly button.
Yeah.
If you were collecting them, I'm just speculating, obviously. You know what I mean?
Who knows, man? Was the dude jerking it to this shit, or was he just saying she's cute, I'm gonna take her belly button?
Like he would take the boxes out and like sift through them.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Oh. She's cute. Yeah, I got her belly button.
Man, shame.
It might be kind of funny when you think about it, but you're still taking somebody's dead butt.
I mean, it's like it's not like he's killing them like that.
Yeah, he's not killing them. He's not taking.
It's still creepy though.
He's not taking their snatches or anything or their titties.
Yeah, although I'm sure there's a lot of them that do that.
Might happen.
Well, like I said, Ed Gein took like vulvas and nipples. And
that was after they were buried, though.
Well, yeah, that was after he dug them up. Yeah. But still, I mean, that's kind of the same thing as taking them from the morgue.
Yeah,
it's just less work.
Think of the lack of fucking what do you call it? Competition. If you're a dude, you're a necrophile. Your sexual orientation is that they got to be dead. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no competition. So
true.
You just rule the roost. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna get me some tonight, man. and then you fucking grab a shovel. I'm gonna get me some
grab
shit
the
tonight.
shovel.
Yeah, you put it in the back of the truck and you go.
Ladies.
And he knows who got buried and everything. He's probably keeping his eye open. You're keeping his eye out for who dies and who's gonna get buried. And drives right down to the cemetery, get him a fresh one. Just buried like a couple days ago. And then in the middle of the night, pulling her out. Oh, I got her now. Ooh, this is going to be so good. He's winching her out the fucking hole, and then he buries it all up, covers it up. Don't worry, baby. You coming home with me. I ain't going to leave you down in there. I rescue you. Kind of weird shit like that. Man.
That was like that dude that dug up that chick. Remember we did the show about that guy? What was that dude's name?
He was digging up all the little girls.
Well, no, he dug up that woman that he was in love with.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And she had married somebody else or something like that, and then she died, like, fairly young, and he went and dug her up and kept her in his house for a while.
I think he was Russian. I think he was a Russian guy or Eastern European or something, and his whole thing was to, like, dig up little girls, like...
Yeah, and then he made, like, dolls out of them. Yeah, we did a show about that, too.
9.
I can't remember his name as well.
And he had them in his house. He lived with his mom and everything.
Yeah.
But he had them... wrapped up and dressed.
You
and
couldn't tell they were
his mom, he was mentally he was mentally kind of fucking
he wasn't right,
handicapped, what I mean?
As my grandma would have said. He's
and
not right.
And she thought that he was just making dolls. I guess they didn't stink.
I mean, technically
they were embalmed, so I guess they
didn't.
I guess they didn't stink. But
yeah.
It's a colder environment there, but it's not. They have a summer.
Yeah.
So he had a bedroom filled with, 7 or 8 of them, in their little snowsuits and shit like that. And he wasn't fucking them. His thing is that he would see that a girl got buried, he'd get sad, and he could have swore that he could hear them crying.
Yeah. Then he had to go.
And so he would try to save them, you know what I mean, and fucking dress them up and take them home so he could take care of them, So it
was a pretty weird situation.
It was weird. That's weird.
We did a show about that guy a long time ago.
We did a whole show on him. It's weird, but I don't think it was a sexual thing. He felt bad for him and he loved them type of deal. He was trying to protect them, and he was mentally handicapped. I don't think he was. I think he had a normal IQ, but he had some bunch of other problems. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but and when they took him from him, he was devastated.
Yeah.
You're gonna put him back in the ground, that kind of shit. That's how cruel, They're gonna be so lonely down there. You know?
I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I see where he's coming from.
He didn't have a fucking true grasp of what death was. I don't think.
Right.
You know?
I guess not. It's like Gramther says, some people collect crazy stuff. Yeah. I worked cases involving collectors of animal skulls, artwork of serial killers, gumball machines. That's kind of interesting. So were they all like kind of similar gumball machines, or just like all different kinds of gumball machines? I could see you like collecting something like that. It's pretty niche, but that's not creepy, at least. And honestly, I can kind of see why people would collect art done by serial killers too. You know, that's a little bit creepy, but it's not that weird in my estimation. I mean, it's no weirder than me having a bobblehead of BTK.
Tanya's here. What's up, Tanya?
Klaus is here too.
Yeah, Klaus. Yeah,
you guys.
All the names went back to normal, did they? No, they didn't.
No.
Okay.
They're all still.
All still same.
I think that's kind of just how they're gonna
be.
All right. It was actually really cold last night.
Yeah, it got cold. Went down to 30-something.
It was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So, which is, I looked it up because I was curious, and I was just kind of like, well, what is 30 degrees? I said, well, it's got to be like just right below freezing, right? Because, 0 Celsius is freezing. So, yeah, it's -1 Celsius was what it went down to.
Yeah, they're saying that Tom fucking building a motorcycle in his living room is kind of reminds him of Tom Cruise with the small block engine in his house in War of the Worlds. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that motorcycle, is the size of a bicycle, really. And I'm not taking a motorcycle that's got fucking fuel and oil in it and grease in it and shit like that and fucking, dirty. It's clean because I'm building it from the ground up out of parts. So I may have some used parts sent to me. But then I'll just take them to the other room, fucking clean them off. But it's usually things just like, fucking stators, handlebars, exhausts. I have a whole bottom end. But that it was pretty clean when they sent it to me. The crankshaft and the gears in it. But the top end is going to be brand new. That's what the top end and the pistons are going to be brand new. I think I'm going to get used carbs because there's a lot of those out there. I have those. I'll jet those properly, make sure that they're good. So it's not as messy as a car, and not as big, So, and this isn't the first time I've done this. I built a motorcycle in the house. Now you don't start it in the house. You don't put all your oils and all your fluids in it yet. You just add weight. But you take it downstairs or take it outside the house, and then the final assembly, you put a motor in it, hook everything up. Put all the fluids in it. Put a battery in it, charge it, and then start to see if it'll start. A lot of times they won't start, because you got something wrong somewhere. You got to figure out what happened, and it starts, and then fucking the tuning isn't good, so you're gonna have to fucking adjust jetting, but later on that day it'll be running. Then you ride it. It's a fun process.
Yeah, Klaus says, did it get that cold? You live in Florida? Yeah, like it does occasionally.
It occasionally gets cold.
Does go down below freezing.
Yeah, it doesn't last long, no.
But yeah, it was just, right now it is 46 degrees Fahrenheit.
It got down to freezing, but it was only for a few hours.
Yeah, it was 30 degrees when I woke up at 6:30 this morning, which, like I said, is -1 Celsius.
And it happened way in the middle of the night, at the end of the night. We didn't notice it. We were asleep.
I didn't have the heat on. Matter of fact, I still had my bedside fan blowing in my face because I still have to have
it. It never got cold in the house.
I still have to have that blowing in my face. Even if it's cold outside.
The windows kind of like fogged up.
Yeah.
But it never got cold in here.
Klaus says, and now how is the weather? Now it is, like I said, it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. It says clear. So, and it's 7:49 p.m.
It just doesn't get cold here.
Yeah, hardly ever. Like I said, it does, like last night, but, everybody kind of flips out. So, like, freeze warning, you have to put sheets over all your plants so they don't die and all this other kind of shit.
It's, what's great about it is that it's either cool or hot, but it's mostly hot. Yeah. But in the winter, it's cool. 70 degrees Fahrenheit, Yeah. The house is always air conditioned to 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
If you take it down any lower than that, you can't afford it. It'll fucking cost too much.
Because we have two.
Yeah, we've got 2 air conditioners.
Air conditioners, one for upstairs.
Yeah, it's all central heating and air. A Florida house is not like, I know we got people from Europe in here. Florida houses, they must be air conditioned. There's no other way because the houses are not stone or brick. In Europe, there's a lot of stone houses and brick houses. You know, that's the main construction material. In America, it's all wood. It's a wood superstructure.
Or concrete.
Yeah.
Older houses in Florida.
The older ones do. It's cinder block. Yeah. Those don't have to be air conditioned as much, as long as you can keep the fucking windows closed. They'll stay cooler.
Yeah.
But most houses are big, made out of wooden superstructure with high-tech materials like, what do you call it, fucking drywall, which is kind of like a chalk on paper. And then the outside is usually some kind of like siding with stucco on there. It's been blown on there. And I once heard it described by a person who really knows all the technical details, is that European houses are kind of like smaller and made out of stone or brick, and they're a lot older. They're made to last.
Although Klaus says most of the houses in Scandinavia are built of wood.
They're built of wood? Okay. Well, we're talking about, like London, I think it's mostly stone.
From like UK.
Yeah.
The houses I lived in there were older, so they were all stone.
But what the construction materials and they do, a lot of that is because, land is fucking super expensive in Europe, especially in places like in a city area. So you don't have much land to deal with. So you know what I mean. It's not going to be big because you don't have the money to buy a huge plot there. But that applies also to places like New York City. There's no room. You're not going to get your money's worth in New York.
I mean, it's an island.
And it's an island. Okay.
And it's completely built up.
It's done. If you want to live well in New York, you better be fucking rich.
Yeah.
This house here was like, right now, what is it, $575?
Something like that.
So it's worth
that's not what we bought it for, but
no, we bought it for less. It went up about $100,000. So it's like $575,000 home, 2 stories in Florida on a golf course. This shit's deluxe, all right. If you had this house in New York City, fucking, let's say it was Manhattan, oh man, $5 million,
probably more
easy.
Than that. This size,
just this house.
But like I said, you wouldn't really get, unless it was like a 3 or 4 story like townhouse. Or something.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't get the square footage.
So an American house is more optimized for size. The land is cheaper, and they're made out of cheaper materials. They still last, but what they're trying to do is, the companies that make them are trying to give you a big house, and they're trying to keep the price competitive. So you go in there, and certain things are probably going to have to be replaced, like the plumbing fixtures when you show up are not really deluxe. It doesn't cost much to change them,
Yeah, you can just go to Lowe's and get.
Just go down to the Home Depot, $75 you could get some fancy ass shit. Nice, you know what I mean? And the one that they gave you was like a $40 one, $30 one.
It didn't last. Like bottom of the line.
Yeah, and all the like little just door handles and shit. You know what I mean? They're just like okay. But if you want some magical door handle as beautiful as fuck, you can spend $60 on a door handle. But shit, we got all kinds of fucking door handles in here. I must have 40 of them. That adds up. And then because the house isn't stone, and because of the way the weather is here, especially in places like Florida, it's got to have central air, or it'll just rot. It'll fall apart.
Yeah, your house would be completely covered in mold.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So the companies that make them they're gonna fucking put outside and inside air conditioning units in the central air system. They're gonna be, I'm not gonna say they're as cheap as possible. It's gonna be something that's kind of like budget.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to, if they can get $100,000 off the price of that house, it'll sell faster.
Yeah.
And you'll have the house, but 15 years later, you're going to have to fucking replace that shit.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at now.
AC, like, it... Yeah. It's better than it used to be, but it's like, it doesn't... In Florida, it doesn't last long because it has to work really hard.
It's constantly running.
Because it's constantly running. So,
even during the winter, it runs pretty much.
Yeah, so you kind of have to replace it, like, pretty often.
And right before every summer, you got to have a technician come in, and he's got to fucking put his gauges on there and check everything and make sure everything... Yeah, it'll probably make it this summer because, man, when the fucking summer, it's working hard. But we got brand new units out there. They'll be good for years.
Yeah, they just replaced them.
They'll be good for years.
Like last year? Was it last year?
Yeah, last year.
I think it was last year. They just replaced them. But yeah, clouds asked if it snowed here occasionally. But I don't really remember. And like I said, it's not... You don't see the thing where it, like, snows and the snow, like, stays on the ground. Like, sometimes you'll see, like, little flakes of snow. But it'll, like, melt pretty much immediately. I have seen that happen maybe 2 or 3 times in my entire life that I've lived here. I've never seen, like, snow stay on the ground in Florida. Maybe in the northern part of Florida, like in the Panhandle, it does snow every now and then up there. But, like I said, it's really, really unusual for it to snow here, and everybody loses their goddamn minds because they don't know what to do. Because we're just not set up for that, obviously, because it hardly ever happens. But yeah, like I said, it's not that weird to go below freezing, but it only happens like maybe once or twice a year. And last night was one of those nights it went down to 30. But we didn't put the heat on or anything. I didn't really notice. We got blankies, we got decent insulation. And like I said, I was like, I'm not turning my fan off. Fuck that. Because we have like these big column fans, and we have them on the, what do you call them? The nightstands. And honestly, I like the one just blowing right in my face because I run hot, especially when I sleep. And it's like, I can't sleep with blankets on without a fan blowing like right in my face. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't give a fuck if it's cold. I'm leaving this shit right here. And I was fine. I wasn't cold or anything like that. So it was all right. And the cats seemed okay. Because I was like, you baby, stay warm. And they seemed like they were all right.
I don't think they noticed it.
No. Pookie got up in her little bowl, but she usually does that. So,
yeah.
Like her little fuzzy bowl on the cat tree that she sleeps in when it's kind of cold out.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. It gets down to 30 and we're talking about like it's a disaster.
Well, it's just unusual.
It's unusual for here, yeah.
It is unusual.
And the cold front moved in.
I like it, though. Yeah, that's what's weird. And I knew that it was a cold front coming because yesterday it was warmish. I think it was in the 50s or 60s Fahrenheit. Yeah. But it was super windy. And, like, because it was so loud, like, it kept, like, banging the screen, like, on those windows back there. I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, it was just really, really loud, like, the wind all day. And I was like, that's a cold front. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And, yep, then the temperatures went zoop and dropped right down. I don't know what it's going to, because tomorrow night we're going to Memento Mori, so I guess I'll have to check the weather before I figure out what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, it might be too cold.
Because if it's cold, I can't wear, like, anything too skimpy, or I'll freeze my ass off. Although it's warm in there. It's just kind of like just walking from the car is all.
It's not a big deal. I could drop you off at the door.
Oh, I'm not that much of a pussy. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
I mean, I could. I could just drop you off the door and then go park.
And honestly, I like cold weather. Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's hot weather I hate, which is ironic because I was born here and grew up here, but I still hate it. I would rather it be cold.
Yeah, they're saying the British houses are built to last. Yeah, they're built to last. Well, here's the thing. We're always generalizing. Yeah, the British houses are built to last. You take all the UK and add it together, that's the size of New England. And it's at a similar latitude. The houses in New England are built that way too. They're all fucking stone. Yeah. Stone and brick and fucking shit like that. And a lot of them date back to the 1600s, 1700s.
Yeah.
Okay. They're old. So it's the same thing, really. So you can't really generalize. There are parts of the U.S. that are using construction materials like that.
Yeah, usually in the Northeast.
Yes, northeast. Though you can go through the Midwest too, and they have that in California, because there were rich people that lived there for fucking hundreds of years, going back to fucking Spanish people, Spain, when they owned fucking California, and yeah, they got fucking stone castles there, so you never can't tell. You know, it's just we're talking about newer homes, especially in lower population density areas where everything's new. It's going to be modern construction materials, and they're going to be bigger than the older houses, and actually a lot more livable. You go up to Detroit, you're living in those old fucking dumbbell tenements like I used to do, like I did for a while. Yeah, it's fucking stone and shit. You're dealing with old fucking steam-powered radiators and crap, you know what I mean? Old wiring and...
Yeah, it's having the...
You know, it's just
modern convenience.
Yeah, there's not the modern... And the way they were laid out, the way a fucking apartment would be laid out internally didn't make any damn sense. You had to walk through other people's bedrooms to get to the fucking kitchen. You know, just... The Victorian era, they didn't know how to fucking design anything.
Their lifestyle was so different, I guess, that it's like it didn't seem weird to them, I suppose.
Yeah, the concept of privacy didn't exist, I don't think, in the Victorian era.
Judging by how they laid the house.
Yeah. Like there were no central hallways to things. There were just rooms connecting to other rooms, connecting to other rooms.
There's like, hey, go
into
the bathroom.
Going in this room, going in this room, going through this room into another room.
I'm like, hey, I'm sleeping in here.
Yeah, it was weird layouts
here or something. Zach says, I keep hearing you guys talk about Memento Mori, but I don't think I've ever heard y'all say what it is. I'm sure we have.
It's a goth night.
This is the goth night.
We got two
that we founded.
Yeah.
Well,
almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, no, okay.
15.
Dimitri said it's this tomorrow night is the 11th anniversary.
11. Okay.
And I thought it was more than that because I could have sworn that I already did a flyer for the 11th anniversary a couple of years ago, but I looked back at my stuff and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like, I thought it was a longer time than that. But what we did was we used to go to, there used to be one at iBar called, well, it's called different things.
Mid or Not. Yeah.
For a while. What was the other name of it? I don't remember what the other name was.
I forgot.
And then Dimitri, who's also a DJ, he's like, why don't we start one? You know what I mean? Like maybe somewhere else or something like that. We're like, yeah, okay. And then what?
I was gonna say, here's the weird shit about Dimitri. I met Dimitri through his wife Jen. I met Jen on a London After Midnight video on YouTube.
Yeah, like in the comment section.
In the comment section. And I was talking about it, and she goes, oh, yeah, well, my husband's a DJ. Oh, you live over there? We live right there. And she says, we haven't been out because we've been raising kids where we're getting ready to come back out again. And I said, when you come out, fucking meet us. And we met, and fucking they were exactly as fucking described.
Yeah. They're from, he's from South Florida.
Yeah.
She's from Pennsylvania originally, I think.
Dimitri fucking was a DJ before in the Tampa area. He came up with the guy that you know as Marilyn Manson. That was a friend of his.
Yeah, he knew that dude.
Yeah, he knew him.
Good old Brian.
He knew Brian. And he knew Brian and Brian was a DJ for a while before he started his band. So I think he knew him from that time. Anyway, it's just kind of funny, like over the years, fucking, like I met so many people over old YouTube.
Yeah.
Like back when you could have a whole conversation in the comment section.
In the comment section.
And you'd actually get notifications.
Like commenting on old music videos and stuff like that.
There are girls that I raised from children on fucking commenting on damn... Yeah, one of them is Shannon. And I never met Shannon face to face. I raised her. When I met her on a fucking goth video thing, and she was complaining about where she lived, and it turned out she lived in Massachusetts and was talking about Man Ray. And I says, man, I used to fucking go to Man Ray all the time. So we're talking about music and shit. She was probably about 16 at the time. I was probably about 38. And just over the years, she just keep messaging me back because we had what do you call it? MySpace at that time. Remember MySpace?
Yeah.
That's what it was. And she disappeared for a few years, and she come back. Now she's a huge fucking player in the goth scene in fucking in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she does a lot of fucking. Her name's Shad, and she goes by a bunch of other little different screen names now. But it's funny. I showed Jen clips of what her telling my friend. Yeah, there's this guy that I met a long time ago when I was a kid. And he goes, no, it's not what you think it is. And she's like,
he's not a weirdo like that.
Yeah, he's not weird like that.
We're just talking about goth music. We're kind of like, it's like a mentorship.
Yeah.
It's the goth mentor program.
Yeah, it's like the goth mentor program. You got to raise
like
your
big brothers and big sisters.
You got to raise your baby
Gotham.
bats and fucking. So she wasn't the only one, because not Sonia, fucking
yeah, she's old.
Sophie was kind of like that.
Yeah,
because she's been on the show.
Yeah,
she was. She was. Her friend was Jason Quinlan's little sister I went to high school with Jason Quinlan up in Michigan.
Yeah, she had started listening to the show.
She was listening to the show first, and I mentioned some shit in Trenton, and she contacted me.
She was like, "Wait a minute."
She's like, "Wait a minute, fucking, you know her?" I said, "Yeah."
She's like, "I know that person's sister or whatever."
So fucking, we would talk about issues and politics and goth stuff and music and shit, and the show for years, and then she finally came up here to come see us. She became a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
But I think she was probably about 20 or 23.
Yeah, probably. She was a bit older.
She was a little bit older when
she wasn't like a teenager.
Right. And I had dudes fucking message me, man, fucking, I grew up with you. And I'm like, what? I grew up listening to you. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I realized that the fucking show is old.
Yeah, we started in 2016.
Yeah, and you'll have dudes fucking said that I listened to you all through high school, man. You know, fucking, you helped me, fucking, you sorted a lot of shit out of my mind. He's fucking, 22 now. You know what I mean? That kind of weird, or fucking 30 now. Just this kind of weird, But I'm like, I guess it works out that way, doesn't it? But it's not on purpose. It's just.
Yeah, we didn't really think about it. Like I said, and sometimes I forget that we've been on for such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I think this year will be 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Because we started in summer 2016. Yeah, so this summer will be 10 years that we've been on.
Yeah.
Victor says, did you know Manson when he was on the Wonder Years?
What's that? What is that?
Did he know Manson when he was on the Wonder Years? There's an urban legend that when Brian Warner was a kid, that he was on that show, The Wonder Years. That is it's an urban legend, obviously. That's not the same kid, but yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, so it's basically what it is. It's the same DJ as Abyss, but it's at the same venue, the Trap, where we do Barbarella, which is the 80s new wave night, which is so we're going to the same place. It's just like a different DJ.
It's a different event.
And slightly different music. So it's like a slightly different event.
Yeah.
So he does Memento Mori at the Trap once a month. And it's usually, he plays kind of 80s, like dark wave-ish kind of stuff, like early in the night. And then, like, later he plays kind of more harder industrial. And, although he's been kind of going more toward, like, older industrial, because the younger kids seem to like that more.
And I've been trying to drive it through his head, man. I said, stop playing this fucking shit, man, because those people aren't here anymore. And the young kids like retro. They like death rock.
Yeah, they like the old shit.
Death rock and post-punk and, that kind of shit, which we like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they like most of the same shit that we like.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
But, Dimitri sometimes gets caught in the...
Or new bands that sound like old bands.
New bands that sound like old bands.
That sound like the old bands that we like.
Dimitri gets caught up in fucking the way the Castle used to sound in the fucking 2000s.
But yeah, everybody bitches about that, though. Yeah. Like, the Castle is...
The Castle never had good music.
Is a cool-ass place, and it's like the vibe of it is just unmatched. But the music is always kind of sucked. Yeah. Even when I was going there in the late 90s, I didn't
the music was always dodgy at the Castle. Except for the patio.
The patio was good.
Yeah, that was the outside. DJ. You could dance out there. They had lights and shit.
Yeah, it was all closed in and stuff.
Yeah, it's big, all closed in. It's got a big wall and ferns and crap, It's pretty in there. I mean, that fucking bar is world class. That's probably the Castle's probably one of the nicest goth clubs in the world.
I mean, if you're into the scene, you have to go there at least one time.
Yeah.
Like I said, the music kind of blows, but at least upstairs.
Yeah. The decor and the clientele. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's off the chain.
Everything fucking, it's like an amusement park. You know what I mean? And
just the building is cool.
Beautiful.
Like the atmosphere is just really cool.
And you're gonna have pretty motherfuckers from around the world in there, just dressed to the nines.
Yeah, because it's pretty famous. Around the world.
And if you're a skeevy old dude, you want to go in there because it's gonna be nothing but fucking hot chicks and barely dressed. A lot of times, asses hanging out, fucking, in a G-string with bondage gear and goth stuff mixed up. Just depends on what kind of event it is, Some of it's more fetish inspired. We went to the fucking vampire ball, and it's all fucking 1700s looking and 1800s looking with fetish. It was packed.
But man, everybody was like fucking
dressed to the fucking nines.
Yeah. There was not a single person that didn't look fucking amazing.
Yeah. If you didn't look amazing, you weren't supposed to fucking be there. I was wearing all velvet and fucking velvet brocade.
We went
looking
all out.
And that shit like an Anne Rice character.
Yeah. We went all
wearing
out
makeup and fangs and shit and fucking eye contacts. I wasn't wearing fangs, was I?
I don't
Just
think
contacts.
so. I did red contacts.
Yeah.
And I hadn't worn those ones before. And by the end of the night, they were really hurting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get them out. And Jen had to put her fingers in my eyes and get them out because I couldn't get them out. I was like freaking out.
I was doing ice blue contacts. The fucking, or were they ice green?
I think they were blue, or white or something. Yeah. I don't remember. It's been a while. But we got a hotel.
I had hair back then. I was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a hotel room back then. Well, Dimitri got us a hotel room because he used to work for Hilton back then.
Yeah.
So he got rooms free or discounted or whatever. Yeah. So he got us one for that. The only thing that
was the night of the abdominal snowman.
It was, it was a fun night, but it's like, man, it was a cool event and everybody looked amazing, but it's just it was so crowded. And the castle is big. Yeah. Like it's couple stories, like it's a huge venue. But it's like you could barely fucking walk in there.
Yeah.
Like you try to get to the bar and it's just kind of like you were just walking around like this all night.
Yeah.
Like it was just wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was like a fire hazard.
Peter showed up. Everybody's saying hi to each other. What's up? What's up? Fucking horror wrestling fans talking about in the Victorian era there was no privacy because the brothers and sisters are sleeping together in the same bed and shit. Yeah. That wasn't even the Victorian era. Fucking England in the fucking 70s was like that. Like according to John Lydon, he and his little sister slept in the same bed with fucking rat infested fucking council estate type house. The rats were pissing on him and his brain swelled up. That was the same thing happened to the fucking dude from Pink Floyd, didn't it? Sid Barrett.
Yeah, the crazy one.
Yeah, the crazy one. Well, he also had worms in his brain. What was that shit called?
It's not encephalitis.
No,
that's brain swelling.
Yeah,
I think
it's.
I don't remember.
It's not schistosomiasis.
Toxoplasmosis.
Toxoplasmosis. That's what it is. Toxoplasmosis.
How'd I pull that out of my ass? Who knows?
Make you crazy.
American Military said, Jenny and Tom, what is both of yours most memorable case that's been covered on the podcast?
Oh shit, man!
God, so many. I always come back to, for some reason, and we did this a long time ago, but I always come back to the weird fucking case, and I'm actually I've been over the last few years, like writing a novel that's sort of low-key based on this case. I don't know if I'll ever finish it or not, but it was, what did they call the case? The horror in room 1046 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was that guy that like checked into the hotel with like no luggage.
Yeah.
Like under an assumed name. And then like he was acting real kind of weird and sort of sketchy like over the last 2 days. And then they found him like near death. Yeah. Like he wasn't dead like when they found him, but he'd been like stabbed and tortured and shit like that in the room. Even though nobody saw anybody go into the room or come out. And they asked him, like, well, who did this to you? Because he was still alive, and he wouldn't tell them. Yeah. And then he died, and then they didn't figure out who he was until, like, a year or two later.
Yeah, I think it was gay.
I mean, well, I don't know, but it's just kind of it was a weird fucking situation.
I think his boyfriend had killed him.
I don't know what the fucking deal was, man, but it was weird all the way around. Because it wasn't just the fact that he got killed, it was just all the weird shit surrounding it, and how, like, nobody saw anything. Like, I don't know. It was just really strange. Like, and he was just acting really strange. And And then it turned out he was like 17.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't look 17 like from the picture, but like he looked older. But when they finally identified who he was, it's just like he was a 17-year-old kid that had been just traveling around the country with his friends. You know what I mean?
He must have been selling some ass.
I don't know what happened.
And a client killed him.
I don't know what happened.
Something like that.
Well, somebody, like, the woman in the room next door, she said that she thought she heard, like, an argument that she thought was coming from that room, like, before he died. And it was 2 or 3 men's voices and a couple women's voices. Like, a whole bunch of people were in the room. But like I said, nobody really saw anybody, like, coming or going except for him. But yeah, there was just like, you really have to read like all the details of it because it's so fucking bizarre. Like, and that case has always like intrigued me because it happened in 1935, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they still have no fucking idea what was going on, who killed him or why or what the fuck that was all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1935. Like, it was like New Year's Day, like 1935, or so when he checked in.
They're asking what year is that from?
1935.
35, yeah.
And it happened in, I believe, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. Varg's back. Hadn't seen him in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Got all of Norway in there.
Yeah, all of Norway's up in this bitch. Well, they're pissed off because of what's happening with Greenland.
Is that why the whole Norway people are coming in?
You want me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greenland evidently got its independence. They voted for it. We're going to see when that happens.
CB says Steve Strange would go out of his nightclub and send people home to make an effort if they weren't dressed to his and Boy George's standards. I mean, I'm kind of on board with that because he did. Well, I read actually Steve Strange's autobiography, which it's called Blitz, right? I have it. It's over there somewhere. I think it's called Blitz, right? Because wasn't the club called Blitz? But having been going through to lots of different goth clubs in my life, there's always like the ongoing thing of like, should we have a dress code or not? Like, so there's always like kind of a debate about it. It was like, well, you know, we need to make money obviously to keep the place open, so we can't just like turn people away. Like, if they're into the music and they don't really feel like dressing up. But then on the other hand, you kind of want to keep out the riffraff. You want the people that go there like to feel safe, which you don't if you just kind of let a bunch of randos in, because that never ends well. So it's always kind of a thing. What the castle did, I don't know what they're doing nowadays. They didn't have a dress code normally, but they absolutely did when they had like special events. So if you went there for an event and you just looked like a normal ass motherfucker, they'd be like, "No, get the fuck out," because they knew that enough people were gonna come that it wouldn't matter. But just for the regular nights, I don't think they would turn anybody else away. Now they would kick you out, like if you were acting an ass, but you know, it's always every time. I think even Big Tom, who owns mannequins in downtown Sanford, I think they even threw around the idea of doing a dress code for the goth night, which they do on Friday nights. Just to try and keep some of the assholes out. It's gotten better as far as I heard, now that they have like security and like a door guy, and they started charging a cover charge, which they didn't before, and that seems to have alleviated some of the problem, not all of it, but yeah, charging a cover charge seems to help too, because if you just have a place where, you know, anybody can just wander the fuck in there, you know, you don't really have that problem where we go, like the places we go, the Trap, because it's not in a downtown area. It's in Winter Park, which is kind of a little bit outside of downtown Orlando, and it's not in a walking area. Like, you have to drive to it. It has its own parking lot. There's really nothing else around there except like a 7-Eleven and a bunch of shit that's closed. So you'd have to go there. You can't just like wander in. You have to go on purpose. But Mannequins, the Old Eye Bar, you know, that location, the Castle, they're places where a lot of people are walking around. And if a lot of people are walking around, and especially the Castle, that's Ybor City, and that's like party central, and there's a bunch of restaurants and a bunch of other nightclubs, and So that's where you go, like, if you want to party. So people walking around, like, going to different bars all night. So people are going to wander in there. And it doesn't always work out. They do have a cover charge. I don't know. It was $5 when I used to go, but I haven't been in a while.
They got a cover charge. They got security there with a wand to make sure you're not taking guns in there.
Yeah, well, that's mannequins.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about mannequins.
Well, I was at first, but then I was talking about the castle, too.
Oh, after you, okay.
But mannequins, what...
I think the castle uses a wand, too.
They might. They didn't when I used to go.
Yeah.
But they probably do now, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think mannequins, we don't go there as much anymore. They seem to, when we've gone there, it seemed like it's better. It's still not great, but
yeah,
it's better than it used to be. Like I said, just because they have security, they have people at the door now, like, you know, kind of looking at everybody. And I think sometimes they search people's shit. They don't search us because they know who we are, but...
Yeah. I got Norse in there fighting. No, man. Greenland got its independence today. It's not. They voted for it. You know the U.S. is going back, and you know that's going to be a state. That's going to be a state. Mark my words, or a protectorate, but probably a state. That's how that shit's going to go. So is Canada. Not all of it, but a lot of it. All right, go ahead.
I doubt it, but okay.
No, we're going to take it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
CB says, Jenny, the police referred to put the Yorkshire Ripper Peter Sutcliffe's DNA in a genealogy site because they're shitting themselves. I guess he means refused. Because his DNA apparently got matched to a miscarriage of justice. I hadn't heard about that, actually. We did a show about the Yorkshire Ripper, like, a long, long time ago. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. And then .2831 says, will you guys be watching Hard Candy and make a live that is right up your alley? Yeah, I'd been wanting to review that movie for a while. We didn't do it this past week because we ended up watching the what do you call it? Shit, man, I just totally fucking forgot what I was talking about. Like, what the booby guy, you know, what's his name?
Who?
The boob guy.
Oh, you talking about fucking my boy did Vixen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Russ Meyer.
There you go. Why
He
can
taught me everything I know. He taught me everything I know. I saw the first fucking Russ Meyer.
Oh, and you guys, one of you guys recommended, because when we reviewed the Russ Meyer's Vixen, one of you guys recommended a newish movie. Well, it's not that new. It's like 10 years old, called Bitch Slap.
Yeah, we saw it.
And we did watch that. That was pretty good.
It
seemed more like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Than, you know what I mean? But I see what you're getting at. It was pretty fun.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty fun.
It was all right. Okay, it delivered. It let you. It delivered. It delivered on the promises that it made. You know what I mean? It was, lesbian, a gang of lesbian.
Wasn't quite
gangsters.
as smutty as I was hoping, but
there's an unrated version. But those girls are all mainstream actresses and shit, off of Star Trek and shit like that. So they're it's not porn, but they're just. It's just. Then one of them's a secret agent. It was funny. It was funny. It was funny. And it was entertaining, and it had a bunch of cameos.
Yeah, that's right.
It had fucking Lucy Lawless was in it.
Lucy Lawless was in there for a minute as a nun.
Yeah, it had Kevin Sorbo.
Well, because we found out that the dude that directed it had also done some Xena and her.
Yeah, he done Xena,
so he called in some favors.
Yeah. It was good.
CB says at the bar there is a sign, the same. Number 1, no handcuffs. Number 2, no bloodletting.
Yeah.
3, no drugs. 4, no means no. And then Zach is laughing like, no bloodletting. I'm like, it's funny because like that to me did not seem weird at all. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, fucking our friend Aurora, she showed up at the club and her fucking husband at the time put big hooks in the back of her and threw her legs and they strapped her up to the ceiling, and Aurora fucking does all that fucking suspension.
Yeah.
Penetration. And when they first put the hooks through there, they're huge meat hooks.
Yeah, she had big meat hooks.
They have to be standing on a damn towel and shit, and because there is some blood. But then once it's in place, it's all right. And then she's just swaying all day long.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, and she's just good-looking blonde, and fucking who's into that shit. It doesn't bother her. So no, we know what you're talking about. But yeah, none of the the rules of those fetish clubs, and usually it's not a fetish club, it's an event happening at a regular club or what we consider a regular club. They're gonna have a bunch of rules. You can't have people up there fucking doing water sports and pissing in each other's mouths in the middle of a fucking club. It's just not sanitary. You got fucking food. You gotta
keep that at home.
Yeah, most of the time that shit is more of a fashion statement than it is actual fucking fetish actions. They'll put on a show. They used to have some performers, and people meet and greet, you know, and dancing. But that's usually how it goes here in the U.S. for the fetish clubs. Anything that's kind of like fucking actually sexually oriented, that's going to be happening at private parties from those people. And our fucking Dimitri would host those, or he would DJ at them. He didn't host them. He DJ'd. He DJ'd for the hosts, and that was here in Florida, and that was rich dudes, man. That was eyes wide shut shit. Millionaires, mansions and shit. We told those stories. Yeah, I told that story before, but he hasn't done that in a while. That was another time, but that was the scene that they came from.
Zach says, I imagine it's so they don't have a huge ass mess to clean up later on. Yeah, and like I said, just the sanitary issue. Like,
not everybody, not everybody is into the same thing. You fucking, you know what I mean? You might just be there for some other shit, you know, because your friends are there and everybody's all cool. You don't want to get some piss on you or fucking blood or people blowing each other and fucking some motherfuckers blowing his nut. They don't really allow that shit. Now, they probably do that at a fetish night as secrets. Because that's a swingers club, and that's not open to the public.
Yeah.
You got to be a member to get in there.
And you got to pay for, like, a room.
And it's a hotel/swingers resort. And I've seen video and film, video and photographs of friends of ours doing shit in there, and that place is fucking nice. Real nice. And it's not like based on the photos, it's not like a nudist colony where it's a bunch of fat old men. It's hotties in there. You know, fucking dudes that work out and hot chicks and shit. That's who's in there. So you go to fucking Secrets, you're going to see some shit. That's where the porn stars hang out.
Yeah.
The porn stars can't go to normal, because we got a huge porn scene here in Florida. And they can't go really to normal clubs. They're real scared of being recognized, so they go to those places.
Well, you can't really blame them.
Yeah,
you can't go to like regular clubs or like.
They'll be like, oh man,
or every dude's gonna recognize you. And,
it's
like,
Lily Lou, yeah, fucking yeah.
And then they're just never gonna leave you alone.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be able to just like chill out. You know what I mean? You'd have all these like losers like fogging up on you all night.
Yeah. So when they go to a club, they're gonna go to Secrets. Because people treat them as they're normal, but they're also doing shit in there.
Well, yeah, that place is specifically
for that. Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not open to the public. It's not. They have a nightclub on the property, but
it's not open to the public.
It's not open to the public either. Yeah. Like you have to be a member, and you have to have a room, and they have all these rules and all this other kind of shit.
It's like $40 to become a member, and that's like I think it's like $40 a year, I think. And then you gotta, once you're a member, you gotta pay to get in, and I think you must have to have a room.
I think you do, as far as I
think so, yeah. Or no, that's not what they said. You can pay to get into the club, but you can't do anything unless you have a room.
Mm.
And that's about $100. Now, that, as I remember, there were some other rules that he said. We got people trying to get us to go there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but my ex-girlfriend trying to get us to go there.
I don't know, maybe one of these days, but it's kind of expensive.
They can afford it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I don't really know. I mean, unless we were going with a bunch of people that we knew, Because I feel like I probably don't know most of the people that go there.
It was like $40 for a year, but then you had to pay every time you went, and that was like another $20 for each event. And there was some things that you had to do, but I don't think you had to get a room. It's just that if you were gonna do anything, you had to have a room. But the rooms, here's the thing about the room: a lot of those rooms don't have doors, so there isn't any privacy in the rooms. But that's like part of the cake. Although there may be some private rooms. It's just
I thought from just listening to other people talk about it, they said, well, there was a thing where if you just wanted, you and whoever you took into the room to do your thing, then you would leave the door shut. But if you left it open, that meant anybody could come in.
They made it come in? Is that what it was? Okay.
But I don't know if that's still how it is. But like I said, that was from
it's all different kinds of house rules. Those fuckers are swing. It's a swing club.
And they've highly discouraged just single dudes from going.
Yeah, no single dudes. It's couples.
Yeah.
And single women.
Couples and single women are okay, but like single dudes, not so much. For obvious reasons.
Yeah. Now, it's not open to the public. It's private. And here's some weird things when you look at it. And I was thinking about it back when fucking I first heard this, that's where they go. You have porn stars go there. Are they making any money in there?
Possibly.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if they... Now I'm kind of wondering if they have any particular rules about, well, can you shoot porn in there? I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, because it's almost like free advertising, you would think.
I got video that
I don't know.
I got video that they sent me of what they were doing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Aleta and fucking Tony just fucking the hell out of some chick. And the boyfriend was filming.
Yeah.
Tony sent me that. And then so yeah, you can video in there. Definitely. I don't think there was anything, because they were also doing stuff in those rooms and taking photographs, and there didn't seem to be like anybody stopping them.
Right.
No security, so I guess they didn't really give a shit.
Well, like I said, it's almost kind of like free advertising.
Right. Well, it makes me wonder. A lot of porn stars, not all of them, but a lot of them are also escorts. Well, and they're going there. I mean, can you just cut a deal with one there and fucking fuck the shit out of her
and just pay?
That
might be like a stickier legal issue, because that's technically illegal.
Well, what you could do
is filming it's that's not illegal.
What you would do is here. What's it cost to cut a quick video?
Yeah, you could like.
See, that's how you do it.
That's how you would do it. You would have to say you were paying for something.
Yeah, and then you're right.
Loophole.
It made me think that maybe that's why they're fucking hanging out in there, because you can hire them to cut a quick video.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It seems like if you're going to go to all the trouble and pay all that money to go there, you might as well film some content.
Right. We spend a couple $100. They go and they make $1,000.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just kind of like, it seems like a ways to just go and not get something out of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't know. I've never been. Like, we have a couple friends that go pretty regularly. We've heard some shit from them, and I've heard some shit from a couple other people that we know that have been there. But I'm not real sure, like, what all they're... I know they have a bunch of rules, but I don't know what they are. Yeah, CB says the fetish bar me and the girlfriend go to, you get vetted every 6 months, and 6.5 months to take a blood test. Well, that's good, actually. And then most of the women at the bar hate guys with a foot fetish because they always kiss the woman after sucking their toes, and the woman doesn't want to taste their own feet. Yeah, I could see that. It's like men into feet don't want clean feet. Yeah, see, that's kind of... Man, I don't know. I like to keep my feet clean, man. But... Whatever. Oh, yeah. See, and he also makes what... See, this is... Hygiene is important, kids. CB says, also you can get very sick for putting toes in your... your mouth. One guy I know nearly died because the woman had something under her toenails. Yeah, like I said, you gotta keep those fucking feet clean, man. Keep those nails short. Clean under your toenails. You know, I'm pretty anal retentive about, like, cleaning my feet, actually. So, and I don't wear shoes in the house. I'm really weird about that. I don't really understand people that wear shoes inside the house.
I wear shoes inside the house.
I know you do.
Wearing boots right now.
I know you do. I think that's really weird, but like...
No, I just feel like I have to fucking kick somebody's ass at any moment.
That's silly. Who's gonna come
this
in
way
here?
I grew up.
I mean, like, I can see wearing shoes, like, when you're cooking in the kitchen and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's just
I'm always doing shit,
for
too.
safety reasons. Well, yeah, like, and if you're going in and out.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you're just gonna stay in the house, it's like, one, I hate wearing shoes anyways. And it's like, two, to me, it seems kind of dirty, but I don't know. I don't like to. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have walked barefoot outside to, like, just throw garbage out or something like that because I was too lazy to put shoes on. But I wash my feet as soon as I come back in, so it's not that bad. CB says, Tom, it's probably because you have nasty ass feet.
No. What's that?
He doesn't have nasty ass feet.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
He has okay feet, but it's just...
Tanya's leaving. What's up, Tanya? Bye-bye. See ya.
Zach says, I wonder if a foot fetish dude would be into a ballerina with how awful their feet tend to look. Right?
Just
Man,
bones. Yeah,
their feet get
bones
real
and calluses
fucked up.
and shit.
Ballet is really, really tough on your feet. Really tough on your feet. I only did ballet for like a year or two. And like, shit, when I was younger. Holy crap. Can't imagine just doing that your whole life. You know?
Yeah.
What's up?
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
I thought you were going to say something. So, I looked up today. Okay, so last night we watched the new Fallout, which was great, as usual. And then I watched Moon Age Daydream, which is this weird-ass documentary about David Bowie.
It's good, yeah.
And, it's less a straight-ahead documentary, but it's kind of more like this kaleidoscopic. It's just kind of like clips of...
Through a bunch of shows and his
shows, and like snippets of interviews and
snippets of interviews.
It's a lot of his songs and stuff.
Yeah, and everything's very upscaled, the old footage, so it looks great.
I couldn't believe how nicely some of that old footage looked.
It's just kind of like the story of Bowie's life and development.
What a cool
in his own words, over the years, they're showing all his material. It's very, very Moon Age Daydream. Check it out.
It was on Netflix, actually. I found it.
Very good, very good.
And I was like, man, yeah, I'm in the mood for that. And it's some Bowie, man.
And then they'll play some old live things, old live shit, from the 70s and the 80s and all the way through the 90s. Yeah.
And and then after that was over, even though it was like 10 or 10:30, and I was like, man, I gotta work tomorrow, so I should go to sleep. But they had showed a couple small clips of The Hunger, and I was like, man, I fucking love The Hunger. And I was like, I kind of feel like watching that again, even though I've seen it like a million times. Yeah. Actually, when I was in high school, I think I watched that movie at least once a week. Because I had it like on VHS. And I think once a week I watched that shit. So it's like, so I've seen it probably like at least 50 times, probably more. But I hadn't seen it for a few years. I think we reviewed it, but that's been like years ago now. And I was like, man, I'm gonna watch that again. And I found it. It's on Tubi at the moment. And I watched it again. I was like, God damn, I forgot how much I fucking love this movie. And then I was like thinking, if you've seen The Hunger from 1983, Tony Scott directed it. It's like the most goth movie ever. Pretty much. And like real goth, not like The Crow or whatever. It's just, this is like...
They would call that real goth nowadays, though.
I know, but still, like, I guess it's old now.
Yeah.
But like at the time, I would have said when The Crow came out, I was just kind of like, that's kind of like that edgelord goth.
John says that people tell her she looks like Susan Sarandon all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like our friend Dawn... We were watching The Hunger last night, and Susan Sarandon's in it. And Tom's like, man, that kind of looks like Dawn. And I was like, you know what? It kind of does. Like, I never really thought about it. But it's like, now that he mentioned it, like, I was just like, oh, yeah, now I can't unsee it. So he told her that we were, and she's like, yeah, I get told that.
She's eating that shit up.
I get told that all the time. And I was like, it didn't really...
No, the eyes and the nose and just her face and her mannerisms. I said, man, that's like Dawn.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah.
So this, if you haven't seen The Hunger, please see it. It's a vampire movie, but it's not like a run-of-the-mill vampire movie based on a Whitley Strieber novel.
Yeah.
Novel's okay. The movie's better, I think. Although the book does go a lot more into like the lore, and Miriam Blaylock, who's the main vampire, like a lot more into her history and stuff, which is interesting. But which they only kind of subtly allude to in the movie. But in the movie, the Blaylocks, Catherine Deneuve and David Bowie, who are the vampires, and they live in New York City in Manhattan in this just ridiculously beautiful townhouse, like a brownstone or whatever.
It's not even a townhouse; it's a mansion.
Yeah, and it's huge and shit like that. And I was like, where the fuck did they shoot this? Because I want to live in that house like right now. I can't afford it, obviously. So I looked it up today, and honestly, it took some digging. But most sources say that house obviously is not in New York. That is in London. And I found, they said there a bunch of sources said, and I found what the address was. I can't remember it offhand right now. It's Mayfair Gardens in London is where it is. I think it's number 6 Mayfair Gardens or something like that. And it's this huge house. Like, you know, it's a row house, but it's big. You know, like it takes up like a whole bunch of the block. And I think that most of the interiors were shot in that house. Because I was just kind of like, holy shit, I want to live in that fucking house. I wanted to live in that house back in the 80s when I first saw that fucking movie. I love that fucking movie. It's so good. And I forgot how fucking... I think you forgot too, because you were watching it. You're like, man, I forgot this movie's goth as fuck. I forgot how fucking goth.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it since I was a kid.
I forgot how goth this
I hadn't seen it since I was in high school. Yeah, that's a really tight movie. Looking at it through,
it's beautiful,
through my more seasoned eye. Like I hadn't seen that since high school, and I saw it on VHS, where you see the shit on fucking Blu-ray. With the adult mind behind it, I was like, man, this is an awesome flick. It's a very good movie. Tonally, man, I'm going to tell you, you're going to say, well, maybe because David Bowie's involved in it or something. Tonally, it kind of reminded me of Cat People. It's like, it's kind of like Cat People. But it was a vampire movie. You could put The Hunger and Cat People side by side, and you could rock those. You're like, yeah. One's taking place, you know, in New York, and the other one's taking place in New Orleans. And, you know, one's vampires, the other one's like werecats. They're both American stories in origin. And David Bowie did the title theme of Cat People. Natasha Kinski's in it. That one's a boob fest. Yeah. A lot of nudity in it. Which was funny because, you know, growing up as a kid, I saw that all the time on cable, and I don't remember it really standing out that way because it was so normalized back then when I was a kid. To see so much nudity on TV didn't bother me. Well, it doesn't bother me now. But I'm just saying I didn't notice it. But compared to a modern movie now, yeah, it was gratuitous.
I mean,
I love that shit though.
A little.
Yeah. This one too has fucking gratuitous lesbian nudity.
It's not. I don't even know. I wouldn't call it gratuitous.
Now you know what I'm talking about. It's explicit.
It is, yeah.
For R-rated,
there
that's
is
explicit.
A quite explicit.
They're sucking nipples and shit, working out.
And you wouldn't think the reason that The Hunger kind of stands out to me is because, I mean, it was '83. People were more willing to do nudity and stuff in '83. And Catherine Deneuve is French. She doesn't give a shit about doing it. She was in Belle de Jour, for Christ's sake, which she played a hooker. So it's just kind of like...
doing nudity was avant-garde back then. That was meant
so it was kind of like... So there is actually a quite explicit lesbian scene between Catherine Deneuve and Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super... It's not porny or anything like that. But it's very stylish and gauzy and whatever. But...
They wouldn't do it today.
No, probably not. No. I mean, anybody that was that big of a star would probably be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But back then they were like, yeah, fuck it.
They were sucking each other's nipples, making out and shit. It's tasteful too. It's all fucking.
It looks. It's super hot.
Bunch of shit happening.
But like, yeah.
Jen was getting moist. Jen was getting moist back when she was a teenager watching that shit, going, oh yeah.
I mean, that everything about that movie. I don't want to say. I don't.
It's a hot movie.
Yeah, everything about that movie. Well, and like I said, the opening scene is Bauhaus.
Yeah, Bauhaus, fucking Peter Murphy up there, Bela Lugosi's
when he
dead.
was like at his hottest, although his hair looks a little weird.
And he had fucking hair going up and down like a big X and shit. And then you had David Bowie, he's fucking looking all stylish with that French chick. What's her name?
Catherine Deneuve.
Yeah, they're vampires.
She's wonderful.
They picked up this hot couple, and then they fucking make an excuse to break off. He's got the punk rock girl, and she's got the punk rock dude, and fucking they all the couple they picked up thinks it's gonna be sex, and it's not what it was. Fucking at the moment of truth, they pulled out these blades, these little fucking Ankh blades, and fucking slashed their throats and started drinking all their blood. And they got superhuman strength. They're not just they're vampires.
Yeah, they don't have fangs enough.
They have fangs though.
They're not like lame vampires.
Yeah, and they can go out during the day. Vampires. They can go out during the day. They don't have to sleep in coffins or anything.
Yeah, it's like I liked that
they're immortal.
Because I liked The Hunger because it kind of had a more grounded vampire and also kind of got into the science behind aging and longevity and what your blood type was. Like maybe that made you live longer and all of a sudden there was that angle to it because Susan Sarandon is like a doctor and that's like what she's studying, like aging and trying to reverse the aging process. And that's kind of ties in with the vampire story. And I just thought that was a really cool conceit. Now, I mean, to be fair, that did come from Whitley Strieber because that came from the novel. But I think they did
it's funny how that lunatic could write that novel, write an idea
like I said, I you know what? I'd be interested. Oh man, maybe I should do a book versus movie on that. Yeah, because I like doing those for my other channel, my Scare Salon channel. I did one for Legend of Hell House. I did one for We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I did one for Burnt Offerings. Man, maybe I should do one for The Hunger. I haven't read that book in a really long time. Yeah. I remember the book being a lot different, and I remember not liking it as much as I liked the movie. Yeah. But it's been forever since I read it, so I don't really remember what all's in it.
Yeah, Zach, if you haven't seen The Hunger, bro, you got to see that.
No, he did say he'd seen it because he said,
"Yeah, and Peter's talking
I'm obsessed with the cinematography of that movie.
It's it looks tight. Looking. That movie's beautiful.
That movie is so beautiful. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, ugh, I just want to live in that fucking movie.
Yeah, and Peter's talking about how cool Cat People is. That he likes that movie too. Yeah, those two movies. I don't have either one of those on Blu-ray. I need to get the decisive, definitive, fucking Blu-ray editions of Cat People. I'll get The Hunger, and I want to get.
I think I have The Hunger.
I want to get two other ones. I want to get a better version of Conan the Barbarian, the first one, because I have a decent copy of it that has the extended ending. But the one that I have fucking has the scene of Subutai and Conan talking about the springtime. That's not in my copy, and that needs to be in there. That was edited out, and I saw on the fucking free version that you could see on YouTube, they have a version that has the springtime scene, and that's got to be in there because that's one of Arnold's fucking best acting scenes in the fucking movie. Him talking about the springtime and the symbolism, because that movie's all about allegory. Conan. Which brings me to another topic. There supposedly is a very serious effort to bring Arnold back to do King Conan. And I'm not talking about the other failed attempts. Like right now, they're trying to redo that before he dies. And they have a script. And I've heard mention what the script's about. And now it sounds real good. And it's going to ignore what happened in Conan the Destroyer. And it's going to ignore the bullshit fucking Momoa Conan. Which, poor Momoa, he did a great job as Conan, but that movie wasn't real. That wasn't Conan. But anyway, and then the fourth movie that I want to get a better version of, really want the best possible version of Flash Gordon. I got an okay Flash Gordon, but there supposedly is an even better one that just came out. It's steelbook and it's cleaned up some, and they evidently changed it up a bit, but I'm going to look more into it. I also wouldn't mind a fucking badass version of fucking Logan's Run. but I don't know what was done with that. I know that certain scenes got cut out, and I don't know how much I don't know how much collector's interest there is in Logan's Run. I don't have it.
Yeah.
The rest of them.
Zach says, Hunger was shot by the same cinematographer who did Lethal Weapon, The Pelican Brief, oh shit, I remember that one, and the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. I actually didn't know that. And then Peter says that scene was shot beautifully in The Hunger. Yeah, everything was shot. That movie is just, like I said, I've seen it like a million times, but I hadn't seen it in probably 2 or 3 years. And I was like, after watching the David Bowie documentary, I was just kind of like, man, I kind of want to watch The Hunger. I'm kind of in the mood for that. And I found it on Tubi, and I was like, fucking hot damn. I love this fucking movie. It's so good. And then Zach says, isn't Willem Dafoe in The Hunger for like 5 seconds? Yeah. He's literally in one. He's like an extra. He has like 1 line, maybe 2 lines. Like he's like a guy that's like leaning by the phone booth. Like when Susan Sarandon uses the phone booth, like trying to call her boyfriend or whatever. And he's just like standing there saying, he says something like, hey lady, what about it? Or, trying to get her out of the fucking thing. But yeah, he's in it for like 5. Because Tom had forgotten that he was in it. And when he shows up on screen for a second, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's Willem Dafoe. That might be his first movie. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's like literally an extra. CB says, Tom and Jenny, have you ever seen the bar scene in Near Dark 1987? Yes, I've seen Near Dark several times. We did a review of it, but I don't remember how long ago it was. Next Dimension Media says, Jen, did you ever read the book They Thirst? I think it came out in the early 80s. Can't find anyone who remembers that book. Is it Robert McCammon? Or I don't think I've read it, but unless I read it I've read so much shit, like I forget, but I don't think I've read it. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've read it. I wanted it. There was one vampire novel. Was it a novel or was it a short story? I'm not really sure. That I kept hearing about like a long time ago that I wanted to read. I think it was by Fritz Lieber, maybe. Yeah,
Zach. Willem Dafoe is in Hunger.
Yeah, I addressed that.
You did it? Yeah. You only see him like a second. Yeah, he does. He's young. He's a young Willem Dafoe.
Okay, so
as soon as I saw his face, I was like, man,
he's like, I was like, yeah, yeah, he's in this for like a second.
He has a couple lines.
Yeah, I think he has like 1 or 2 lines.
He plays a thug.
Or he's just like a dude that's like hanging out by the
payphone. Yeah. Yeah.
Younger people are like, what the fuck is a phone booth?
Yeah, phone booth. Back when they had those. It was a payphone. It wasn't even a booth.
Yeah.
It was just a phone hanging on the wall.
It was just a payphone. Next dimension, he said, yes, it was McCammon. I've read a lot of Robert McCammon. Like, he's an awesome fucking writer, but I don't think I've ever read that one. But I will eventually get around to it, though.
Yeah, Zach, Willem Dafoe was hot back in the fucking day.
He's still kind of hot.
How do you think he got famous? You can't go through American Hollywood without, you know what I mean?
Well, he's the kind of hot that I like.
It's like unusual.
He's kind of funny looking.
Yeah.
Like that's not in a disparaging
He's got a theatric look to him.
Yeah.
He's got a big mouth, a fucking
I'm kind of into that.
Really square jaw, intense eyes. He's lean and slender, and he's got a very intense look. And as the Joker, especially, and not as Joker, as the Goblin, especially the second time when he reprises it in that fucking multiverse Spider-Man movie, man, he does a fucking lot of good work. But he did great work in Nosferatu too. He's done a lot of, and The Lighthouse. Fuck, man.
Oh, and he was also in Poor Things.
Yeah.
You didn't see that, but I did. Man, I loved that movie.
And he was fucking great in what was it, Platoon?
Yeah. I like him in everything. He was great in Antichrist. He's good in everything.
Defoe never phones any shit in. I mean, if you hire him, he's gonna deliver.
And I was just thinking the other day, something reminded me of the David Lynch movie Wild at Heart. Oh, I know what it was. I had watched a movie that I'm gonna put a review of it up probably this weekend sometime if I have time to record it. Of a movie that came out in 2025 called A Desert.
Yeah.
And it had aspects a little bit that sort of slightly reminded me of Wild at Heart. So I was thinking of that, and I was like, shit, man, maybe we should review that. And Willem Dafoe is also in that, playing like a super sleazy creep, and he's fucking great.
Yeah, we were talking about how good British actors are.
Well, we got good ones.
We got good ones too, and Defoe's one of them. He's good. He's real.
We don't
good.
all suck over here. I promise.
Yeah, it's just that there's a large portion of the American actors are they're not taking it seriously.
I mean, it's just all looks based, and that's why they get put in movies.
And couch, a lot of it has to do with couch. You know, they're in Hollywood. Hotties come and go. You got people fucking, casting people on the couch, and that's how it is. They're casting males and females. So it's not that serious. And also, and there's a certain venue or a certain type of movie that happened in Hollywood that if you had enough cocaine, you could star in it. That's how low it went. And you can make money too. But yeah, you could, if you had coke, you could be in a movie. So come on, man. They didn't take the shit seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think
it was,
in a lot of ways the British take it a lot seriously because they have a longer. So actually,
back to Shakespeare.
Honestly, the best American actors tend to come from the stage. So they tend to come from Broadway, New York.
Yeah.
Because like they actually went to school for it, and like I said, treat it as a craft.
Yeah, and they had a lot of stage
instead of just going out to L.A., getting a boob job, and like trying to get on a reality show.
Yeah. Or you just go out to L.A., get a boob job, or suck some dicks, fucking party, and party your way into the scene, and fuck your way into a movie with no real background. And but here's another thing. I'm gonna fucking counter some of what I said. Some of the 80s movies and 70s and 80s movies had casts like that were good. Yeah. But it wasn't serious acting, though. They were just fun movies. They were partying. Yeah,
it depends on what kind of movie you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they were just partying.
Because I like bad movies, too.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm not a snob.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I like real kind of elevated stuff and everything like that. But man, I will watch trash along with the best.
Yeah, a lot of it's just trash.
Yeah, and that's okay. Trash can be good too.
Yeah, entertaining.
Okay. A lot of trash is good.
Yeah, like the first 3 or 4 fucking Friday the 13th. You know what I mean?
Look, I'm a horror fan. Yeah. We love trash.
Yeah.
We love elevated shit, but we love the trashy shit too.
The first 3 or 4 Friday the 13th, so that those casts partied their way into those movies. Yeah.
You don't really watch those for the acting.
Yeah.
You watch those to see tits and to see people get chopped up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Remember the girl who was making out with fucking Kevin Bacon who got stabbed with the fucking thing through the and then got killed in the bed? She had a fucking cute body and shit. Well, what happened to her? She ended up being a hooker, doing porn.
Yeah.
And fucking died. You know what I mean? But she was doing shit. She did a couple. You can find her. But I heard it was mentioned, who the celebrities are that ended up in there. But yeah, that she was a party girl, and that's how she got in that movie. I don't even think she did anything else, and then was just a druggie and streetwalker.
Fun fact. That scene where the two of them get stabbed through when they're having sex, like with the spear, that was directly lifted from a Mario Bava movie. Yeah. From 1971.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Called Bay of Blood.
The early
AKA Twitch of the Death Nerve, which actually I like that title better.
Yeah. The American mainstream slasher was copying Italians.
Yes.
We didn't know.
I would argue, because I don't really know how widespread Mario Bava's stuff was. But I'd say I know cinephiles knew it. But it's not like it got it was in multiplex. We didn't even have multiplexes back then. But I think only people film nerds knew about that shit. But people that those film nerds would later go on to make movies of their own. And so they were inspired by that kind of stuff. I would argue that Bay of Blood is the first slasher, 1971.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad if somebody wants to say that it was Black Christmas from 1974. That's totally legit, too. Bay of Blood has a slightly different thing going on, but it does have a lot of the stuff that we would recognize. I think if you showed it to somebody that had never seen it and said, is this a slasher? They would probably say, yeah, that's a slasher. Like, it has a lot of the stuff like, you know, the killer POV shots and, you know, sex equals death. And it has, like, a lot of the tropes that you would recognize. I think that was the first movie that would be widely recognized as a slasher, and that was 1971, and it was Italian. But like I said, a lot of the American John Carpenter and all that kind of stuff, they fucking loved Giallo movies, which had also started in the 60s. They were kind of based on crime novels from the 40s and they were older. So they were taking that and just kind of amping it up a little bit, or doing a slightly different take on it. But yeah, Zach says, ugh, I love Wild at Heart. Even if I have no idea what's going on in that movie. I love every single one of David Lynch's movies. I'm so sad that he died. I usually get all heartbroken about celebrity deaths. I got pretty messed up about David Bowie dying, but and I was pretty messed up about David Lynch dying. But at least they lived full lives. They made like a bunch of cool shit that they didn't die young, so that's good. But man, I love David Lynch's movies. We really need to review Wild at Heart. I think that, I know you're not a big David Lynch guy.
Yeah,
but Wild at Heart, I kind of feel like that's one of his more accessible movies, even though it's still really weird and still like surreal. I think it's still like entertaining enough that audiences could probably still relate to it, perhaps. Also, Nicolas Cage is in it, doing an Elvis impression. How can you not love that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Zach was talking about he wanted to get some kind of fucking retro clothes to do some goth what?
Where are you?
Some kind of goth fashion he wanted to replicate, but I never heard of it. It's quite a ways back up there.
Oh,
I was going to say something about it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
At all.
I'll show you. Let me see.
Read it to me, because I don't see it.
I'll find it.
Hydra says, I never thought...
Fucking horror fan going on about feet. Bro, I'm going to put you in time, man. You keep talking about feet, bro.
He's not talking about feet anymore.
Okay, all right.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Let's see, where was that?
Yeah, Hydra said, I never thought Defoe was good looking. I thought Ralph Fiennes was hot back in the day. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty hot, too. Like I said, I kind of like weird looking dudes. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not all weird looking dudes. They have to be weird looking in a particular way, but I can't like articulate what that is. You just know it when you see it. Oh, whimsigoth fashion.
Whimsigoth.
Kind of like Stevie Nicks dresses.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's kind of more... Yeah, I get... Well, whimsigoth, that's a pretty good neologism, but I don't think that... What would they have called that?
Back in the day?
Back in the day.
They would have called that shit fucking...
There was a word for it, but I can't think of it right now.
That would have been like some...
Because there's a lot of subgenres.
Yeah. We already had that.
Yeah, well, I knew people that...
kind of a witchy...
Yeah, like that was like your Wiccan friends.
Yeah,
like
it was kind of... We
like
had that. And
so it's kind of a new agey...
Right, it was like new agey.
There was a word for it,
and
but
they would take that look and use white in it sometimes. There was black accents, or somebody's full white, I guess you could say, which is kind of like the white witch look. And that would have been what Stevie Nicks sometimes would have been looking like. But we didn't really... When we were doing this shit back in the 90s, early 90s, early to mid 90s, even late 80s, we didn't really have any terminology for it. We were just doing it. And I didn't really even hear the term goth until maybe like, I don't know, 93.
Yeah, it was probably like late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah, 93. Yeah, because
I knew
what death rock was. We had that in 87.
I knew the term was being thrown around.
Yeah.
But
I knew what post-punk was, kind of.
Yeah. I feel like it hadn't really codified.
And nothing was really codified. We were just doing stuff.
Until a bit later.
Yeah.
Well, later for us, which was like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
We didn't really think about it. We called a lot of stuff punk, even though punk was long gone. But you would look at it now, you go, no, it's more like death rock.
Yeah.
So,
well, and even some shit that was called punk.
Yeah.
Here's a funny example of that. So I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember the Chipmunks. The 3 chipmunks, and they were animated, and they would sing, like, they would put out records, and they would usually do like a different genre, and then they would do covers of popular songs in that genre, but the Chipmunks were singing. So there was a country one, and there was a rock and roll one, and then there was one called Chipmunk Punk. And the songs that they had on that were like The Cars and Blondie and stuff like that. And I do remember people calling those bands kind of punk, even though they're clearly not.
Yeah.
I mean, now we would probably call that's like more new wave. But back then they were just kind of lumping it all together as punk. Even though punk technically, as a discrete genre, probably over by 1978, 1979, I feel. It had kind of burned itself out. Maybe even earlier. It didn't last long. The initial explosion of it, like, people got bored of it pretty quick, and then it started kind of branching off into a bunch of other stuff. So, but it was still being called that, like stuff that nowadays you'd be like, that's clearly not punk. But, nowadays they think Blink-182 is punk.
Yeah, no.
So,
or Green Day.
Yeah, which
that's
I'm just
fake
kind of like,
punk as shit.
Okay.
Although even John Lydon said they sound great. John Lydon liked it.
I didn't mind I had the first.
They sound good.
But I had the first Green Day album.
Yeah, but that is a Sex Pistols ripoff, and it's not punk. That's fucking pop.
That's definitely pop.
If it was punk, it would have fuck in every fucking song, so you couldn't play it on a radio.
Yeah,
that's the way punks would do it.
They were pretty,
because
they just wanted to be as offensive
as possible. Fucking punk rockers in the 70s wore swastikas, even if they were Jewish.
Yeah.
Like Susie.
Well, they were just trying to piss everyone off.
That
was just kind of the whole point.
That was the whole idea
of the exercise.
It's cool, man. Just fuck you. They were trying to slaughter every sacred cow. Anything that would piss you off, they would do it. That was their shtick. It worked. They got ostracized. Yeah. But they also got street cred, and fucking they all ended up being famous anyway. Punching way above their weight. Out of the entire punk scene, I would say the gem that really fucking rose up out of all that quagmire shit, there were really only 2. Susie Sue, she was so good that fucking Madonna had to copy her. And Billy Idol. Billy Idol fucking kicked ass in the American pop scene and the American rock scene. I don't understand why he's not in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know why fucking Susie isn't in it.
They're way behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they punched way above their weight.
The cool thing about Susie is that, I mean, she started out as a teenager, like, following the Sex Pistols around.
With not much talent. But she got good quick.
Holy crap.
Yeah, she got good quick.
And then, like, they went immediately into the post-punk shit, and they came up with some really cool shit. And, like, they were around a long time. Yeah.
And I'm never going to talk shit about John Lydon. I mean, fucking, he was great. And, but he really didn't come into his own until he got into PIL, Public Image Limited, and fucking, that band was extremely...
Well, that was his vision.
Extremely experimental.
Yeah,
extremely experimental, really good, with some of the best American backup of all time. Fucking Billy Sheenan was in there. Fucking Steve Vai on guitar. One of the best American guitarists of all times during that time. Fucking right. And the songs fucking rocked, man. PIL was really good. May the road rise with you. And just all the Happy album. Fucking everything. All this shit was good.
I mean, a lot of their early shit was real atonal because again, he was just kind of trying to do the same thing, and I think there was a lot of it. Post-punk is my favorite. I don't even know if you call it a genre because it's just kind of an umbrella term.
Yeah.
Because it encompasses so many different sounds. But I think that what happened after punk rock just blew all the doors off was that they're like, man, we could do anything.
Yeah.
And so they were just picking up shit from all over the place.
Post-punk and cold wave. I like.
Yeah,
that.
it's like, man, we could just put anything together. It's like we just want to piss people off. We want to annoy people. We want to just make shit that's never been heard before. And so it was just kind of like this embarrassment of riches. Like, so much good shit like came out. Like I said, there's good shit coming out now. There's good shit coming out always. But honestly, I don't, I listen to some new music, but it's like most of the new music I listen to, not gonna lie, is bands that sound like the old ones, like from the 80s, Yeah. Because I don't really know if there's anything else you could do,
It's all been done now.
Maybe everything's been done. I don't know. Maybe that's reductive. Maybe I'm just lack of imagination. I don't know. But it does kind of seem like that was the last time something like that could happen. Like, you know what I mean? It was just kind of everything came together, all these cultural factors and stuff like that. So, and there was like all this new technology, like synths and all that kind of stuff, and sampling and, shit that hadn't really been used in music before. And people were just like mixing it all up and coming up with some really crazy shit. And like it was a really fertile creative playground. So that's why I kind of feel like a lot of the bands that came out in that era haven't really been topped. And I kind of feel like even later on, even as long ago as the 90s, I kind of feel like a lot of bands were trying to do that again. Like they were just trying to recapture that. Even as far back as like 1991, like when Nirvana got real big, and I was like, Nirvana are a great band, but I was like, well, they're kind of copying the Pixies though, And honestly, they even knew that. I think he even said that. It's like, yeah, we're just copying the Pixies, So somebody had already done that. It's just they were the ones that made it really popular, It's just kind of the same when in the 90s when a lot of kind of more industrial or, quote unquote gothic stuff got more mainstream. And we were just kind of like, yeah, but, Skinny Puppy or somebody else was doing that like back in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's just nobody cared back then, but it's like now this motherfucker's doing it and everybody thinks he invented the shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's that. It was the same kind of thing like when I used to wear my regular ass clothes and go to the mall, and I can track whatever the mainstream people knew about by what heckles I would get. Like, in 88 or 89, I would go to the mall, and people would say, Beetlejuice!
Yeah.
Because that was, like, all they knew.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple years later, Matrix!
Yeah, Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, bitch, I've been dressing like this since I was like 12 years old. Like, where have you been?
He's talking about fucking the back arch. Fucking, what do you say?
Says maybe get Tom Hardy back on the Bane sauce. Let him do a Conan movie.
Yeah.
Riddle of the Back Arch is better than Riddle of the Steel.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I wouldn't put Tom Hardy in as Conan. If you were ever going to do a Conan as a young Conan, you want to put Arnold's son in there. His illegitimate son. What's his name?
Because I'm sure he had many.
He had,
Arnold's son.
Yeah, Arnold's illegitimate son. Which
with
was...
his housekeeper?
With the housekeeper. Yeah. Pena. His name Joseph Pena.
That's
nice.
Is
his name. And he works out. He looks about like his dad. And in the face...
Can he act, though?
Nobody knows.
I would probably know.
Arnold couldn't act when he did Conan.
That's true.
He was working it out as he was going. Joseph Pena is his name. And he looks like Arnold. And he's fucking about the same size. And his physicality works out. He doesn't look quite as fucking intense as his dad. I mean, his dad was fucking champion, fucking Olympia bodybuilder, for many years. He was also on the sauce. Joseph claims to be natural, and looking at him, he might be. It might be all because Arnold had fantastic genetics. But one of the reasons why I fucking would say you want to use him is because if you look at Howard, Robert E. Howard, the fucking author of Conan, he's a Texan. And when he's talking about Conan, he's saying he's a big, muscular kind of dude with piercing blue eyes and dark skin. And when he's talking about Samaria and the world of Conan, he's talking about a parallel universe, Texas. And Texas is the place where...
Hang 'em high.
Yeah.
Beers, steers, and queers.
From Howard's version of Texas was a union of the Germanic peoples and the Mexican people. And Joseph's half Mexican and fucking half German, and that's exactly what Howard was talking about. So yeah, he'd make a great Conan. He could probably act well enough to do Conan.
He could skate by.
Well, you send him to acting classes,
yeah,
and you train him up. You know what I mean? Even if it only took you 6 months, he could be good. If he has any talent, he'd be good fucking in a few months, and he could reprise that role, and that would be in the spirit of what fucking Robert E. Howard was talking about. Howard was a fucking weird dude. We ought to do a show on Robert E. Howard.
Maybe we should, actually.
All right.
That might be interesting.
He was a very interesting young man, even though he kind of lived as an old man and died young. When his mama died, he killed himself in grief. And he was probably one of the original LARPers. He was like a live action role player. He'd fucking dress up and take pictures of himself and shit. And this was back like in the day. I think that might have been in the 30s he was doing that. And he wasn't much to look at. He looked kind of like an Italian gangster or something. You know, he dressed, the photos I've seen where he's kind of dressed up in a suit, you know. But he was definitely a strange guy. He kept saying that he would have the feeling that Conan was watching him from the shadows, and he felt like he was haunted by, according to his friends, you know, he felt like he was haunted by Conan.
Writers are weird, man. I can attest.
Yeah, I kind of think what it was.
We have all kind of weird thoughts.
Conan was Howard's idealized vision for himself.
I kind of feel like a lot of fantasy authors, especially male ones, that's kind of their thing. High Desert says, yeah, I wanted to point this out also. Robert E. Howard was part of the Lovecraft circle. Yes, that's true, and he wrote some stories in the Lovecraft mythos.
And I got Robert E. Howard approved fucking comic books based on his work, and there's a lot of Lovecraft crossover.
He also says Vincent D'Onofrio played him in a movie.
Yeah.
Really?
If you look
what movie is that? Because I want to see it. I love Vincent D'Onofrio. He's the guy that played Kingpin. You know.
Yeah. If you what was that again about D'Onofrio? What did he say?
He played Robert E. Howard in the movie.
Really? There's a movie about Robert E. Howard? I'd love to see a movie about Howard. What's it called?
I don't know. That's what I just asked him.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. But if you look at Conan the Barbarian, when he's in Thulsa Doom's temples, the motifs are tentacles.
Okay, he said I think it was called The Whole Wide World. Okay.
The Whole Wide World, yeah, we don't watch that.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, if you look at Thulsa Doom's temple, the first one they break in when they meet Valeria, you'll see that there's a patterns inside that temple in the back of their tentacles. So Doom's god is a Lovecraftian god.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the books, when Doom is mentioned, there is a lot of Lovecraftian shit that happens in it. But I would say that Conan was Howard's alter ego. That's what he was trying to be. That was his idealized version of himself. And according to what I remember of what his friends said, all I can think of is that he felt he wasn't living up to his idealized version of himself. That Conan was looking at him kind of like with disapproval. That he wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, I get it.
That he could never live up to Conan. Which that's kind of a sad situation where you have a guy with all this with all this imagination, writing all this fucking great stories, and he feels that he can't live up to his character that he's idealized for himself, when he probably could if he'd really put his...
Yeah, but the thing about it is that, and like I said, speaking from personal experience, people that are writers, since a lot of our world is internal, you always kind of feel like the cool shit you come up with, like you wish you could do that in real life sometimes, depending on what you write.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that you don't, it's just like a constant sense of disappointment. Like certain types of people become writers is what I'm saying, and a lot of them are like that. That's kind of just how you're sort of living vicariously through
these characters,
your fictional characters.
That's what I thought.
And it's like a constant sense of like wishing you could be like that, but for whatever reason you
hearing about him, that's what I thought was happening in him, is that he wasn't living up to Conan. He just said Conan kept watching him and from the shadows, and that he was upset about it.
Because honestly,
a few months later, he killed himself.
Yeah. Because honestly, I've had times in my life where, I was going through some hard times, or shit wasn't going well, and I think that I wrote my best stories during those time periods because I just went into that instead. You know what I mean? Because I was like, well, life kind of sucks right now, so I'm just gonna make some shit up.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it goes.
When we do a Howard show, we got to mention Frank Frazetta, because I don't think Howard and Conan would have ever caught my attention had I not seen the works of Frank Frazetta.
Yeah.
And I think he made Conan famous because he was doing all the fucking the modern cover art.
Well, because people picture it. It's just like, sadly, not that many people read.
Yeah.
But people look at stuff all day long. So it's just kind of like, you're going to get eyeballs more with images than you are with words.
But I think with the two working together, though, really...
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that's what lured people into, like, actually...
And Frazetta really understood that world. I mean, he'd take photographs of himself. He was into bodybuilding and fucking... He'd dress up as a cowboy. He'd dress up as a fucking barbarian and take photos of himself. And Frazetta was a good-looking guy. And I think he somehow fucking also identified with Conan. That it was... He was doing the commercial art for that too, and I think he really liked that. And he liked women. He had a good-looking fucking wife, and drew some almost kind of fucking women out of fucking, what was that director I was just talking about? Russ Meyer. It's almost kind of like Russ Meyer girls, a little more muscular, but. I saw an interview with him, and he says, "Man, I was always getting shit. They were saying, man, her ass is too big." And he says, "That ass is too big?" And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, "No, that ass is too big." But these were dudes in the 70s telling him that, in the 60s, and I grew up in the 70s. That was not a time for ass. They liked big titties, but they liked real skinny little asses on women. Frazetta had it right. He was more of a muscular look, He also liked transracial looking women. If you look at because a lot of that shit he's drawing is happening in the world of Howard. In Howard's world, everyone was kind of ambiguous fucking racial makeup. There was like a mixture of black and Asian and Caucasian all kind of happening, depending on what the character was. You know what I mean? But if you can look at his characters, you're like, what race is that person? You really can't tell. They just look good. So. Maybe that had something to do with the body style. Some of that body styles were maybe a little more African looking for the time.
CB said, it's like The Crow. The creator made it to cope with his girlfriend being killed by a drunk driver, and it became a cult classic, both the comic and film. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody probably knows that a lot of the best art comes out of tragedy, because I mean that's how artists like fucking deal with their shit. It's like therapy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Is it healthy? I don't know. Maybe not. But it's just kind of like that's just how they operate.
Yeah, the old way of doing it is it's a product of one person. All right, like Howard or like you said, the Crow. If you look at what's happening now, that's cool. It's coming out of a group, but then there's an individual person comes out and tells a story. In other words, like Fallout was created by a group of people. That whole game,
very large, yeah.
But an individual writer can jump into the Fallout world and write a Fallout story in it.
Yeah.
And that works too. Okay. That's also very cool. It just depends on the venue. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Fucking like a Fallout story is a group effort. Always.
Yeah, I mean sometimes collaboration is good and will push people to different things. It depends on what it is.
Depends on what it is.
You know?
Yeah. Star Wars, they tried to do that with Star Wars. It failed because Star Wars had too much. Not enough people understood it, and there's only certain themes that work well in that universe. You can't. Star Trek, on the other hand, is a little more flexible. There was a bunch of different writers that did Star Trek stories, and they were all good.
Well, even from the beginning. Yeah,
even from the very beginning, right?
They always got the best writers, though.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about Star Trek is that the original Star Trek, in many ways, was the best Star Trek. You can go back and watch that.
Yeah, I still rewatch that all the time.
Yeah, that's actually the best one. And if you actually... It's not visually the best. It doesn't have the best fucking high-tech bullshit and everything like that. It's just the storytelling is best in the Kirk Spock Star Trek, including the movies. Because it's just... The writing is really good. And the writers were the same writers off of fucking The Twilight Zone.
Yeah. And Night Gallery.
And Night Gallery.
And TV movies at the time.
Yeah.
And Outer Limits. And
right.
They were all working in that.
And those were all veteran writers. And what was great about them is that they weren't fucking telling you how to think. Or what to think. They were just telling you to think. That's all. They would show you a problem. They would tell you a story that showed you a problem from a bunch of different angles. And sometimes at the end, Kirk, Spock, and fucking... Kirk, Spock, and Bones would say things to where they had different opinions on it, but every opinion they had was valid. Sometimes two of them would agree, and the other one kind of like, well, maybe. And that was the great thing about fucking the original Star Trek, is that it was a thinking man's show. And that was because that's the way that was the way Twilight Zone was. Twilight Zone just encouraged you to think about some shit. They would just show you something. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
High Desert says, I have the 2-volume set of the letters between Robert E. Howard and Lovecraft, and boy, do they get a bit racist. Oof.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just the way it was.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
That's the way it was.
Well, Lovecraft was super racist, even for the time.
Yeah.
Like, even people at the time were like, bro.
Yeah, they wanted to tone
it down a little. You know what I mean?
But without that racism, his writing wouldn't have been very good, I don't think. Because a lot of it's about paranoia and fear of outsiders.
Well, like I said, and I think I've said this before, it's just kind of like, I feel like his shit was so good because he was so fucked up.
Yeah.
And he was, like, dealing with his issues, and he was just, like, so weird and, like, so afraid of everything.
Yeah.
So afraid of everything that wasn't exactly like him.
He was xenophobic.
Big time.
Yeah. He was racist against other white people.
He was. So I think that fueled his writing, like, in a good way. I don't think that would always happen. You know.
Well, he was a talented guy. And and he had a good imagination.
It just worked in his favor.
You got a lot of people that are xenophobic and totally fucking racist, but there's no quality to them. So they can't
they could write shit all day long, and it would just sound like a bunch of whiny bullshit.
He was a really good, imaginative guy. And he was a good man. He wasn't a bad man. He just fucking had... weird ideas. He was very, very, very Anglo-American,
and he was super sheltered.
Yeah, and he didn't know much. And that really kind of
very provincial
added to that shit. And but he got better over time.
He did. He eventually kind of
he realized
took some baby steps.
He was young. He was young when he was writing all this.
Yeah.
And he was in a world that scared him.
Yeah.
Xenophobia always comes from fear. Sometimes the fear is founded, sometimes it isn't. And in his case, well, there are evil organizations that are invading.
Well, I'm not saying there's not bad shit in the world.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you can't live your whole life being scared of every fucking thing.
Yeah, he was scared of everything.
Most of the time, you're going to be all right. It's fine. Depending on where you are. But, you know.
Worry too much.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I kind of feel like in most situations, and I know this doesn't apply if you live in certain parts of the world, but in most situations, I think the worry will probably kill you faster than whatever you're afraid of.
There's a certain type of person, and they can come from any walk of life, any political orientation, whatever. There's a certain type of person that if things aren't under their control, then it's a threat to them. They have to they're a total control freak. Anything that's outside their little fucking that's dangerous, and he was kind of like one of those.
He's like, well, I don't do that, so it must be bad and wrong and terrible.
I didn't do that, so it must be bad. I've never seen this before, so God, that's horrible. He was one of those.
But like I said,
and this is something I can't control, so fuck.
That is a mindset also that is based really in narcissism, because you're kind of thinking,
putting yourself in the center of everything.
You're the center of the universe. It's well, the way I was brought up or the way I am, that's the only correct way to do things, and anyone that deviates from that is obviously wrong.
And there's lots of those.
Yeah. CB says George R.R. Martin, the author of Game of Thrones, helps write the Elden Ring video game, which is why it's so good. You know what? I should probably get into Game of Thrones. Well, I'm not a big fantasy person, but
they said it was good, man. But they said that final season fucked it all up.
Yeah, everybody said Game of Thrones. Oh, it's the best thing, and then then pretty much universally, everyone was like, you fucked it up. You know what I mean?
They said the same thing about Westworld. They said Westworld was awesome, and then the last season fucked everything up. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna fuck with Westworld then.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just.
Something to do with the writing teams changed, or some things changed
or they didn't
in the
know
company,
how to end
and they're
it,
just like
something. I don't really know what the.
But evidently, the first season of Westworld is supposed to be great, and then everybody was disappointed by it, and it just sounded like, oh shit, I'm not gonna watch the first season then. There was a lot of good shows that just ended.
Yeah.
And they ended good. Like the Logan's Run series was great, and it just ended, and that's good. Just let it just end. Don't make another season and then fuck it up. and the Logan's Run television series was the same guys who did Star Trek and Twilight Zone.
Yeah. So
it's the same writing. It is kind of like, okay, we're doing Most Dangerous Game. Okay, we're doing fucking Jack the Ripper. Okay, we're doing it. There is that to it, but it's still a pretty good show.
I mean, they're getting ideas from other shit, which is, I mean, all writers do that.
Yeah.
I tend to not like to do that myself unless it's like kind of an obscure sort of story, but it's just,
the best thing about fucking the Logan's Run television series was Rem. There's a character named Rem. He was one of the guys out of fucking The Thing. He was the dude who said, I did not touch that safe. That guy, the dude with the fucking gun. The dude that shot the guy in the head.
The tall, skinny guy.
The tall, skinny guy, yeah. He played a character named Rem, who was an android. And when you see Rem, you go like, okay, that's where the character Data from fucking Star Trek Next Generation.
That's probably where that was.
That's where they got, and it was, because they shared writers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fucking, he's kind of like Data. You're really good, though. Really good character.
Zach says people are having a reaction like that to the last season of Stranger Things now, and it's just kind of like, you know what, calm down, because the last season of Stranger Things was fine. I didn't mind it. I think they ended it good. It's just, it wasn't earth-shattering or anything, but it was good. You know what I mean? They wrapped everything up, and it was fine. Burley Kev said, have you guys covered the English serial killer John Reginald Christie from the movie 10 Rillington Place? I don't remember if we have.
No, I never heard of it.
I have reviewed, I'm pretty sure, you might search. I'm pretty sure I've reviewed that movie, though, because that's a great movie. 10 Rillington Place. I'm 99% sure that I have reviewed that movie. I don't think he's seen it, though. but I don't remember if we did a show on Christie or not. I thought we had. We've done a lot of British serial killers, but maybe not. But I'm pretty sure I've done that movie at least. Yeah, CB said Game of Thrones, they were past the point of the books by series 4. Yeah, I think that was probably most of the issue. Burley Kev said there was a Logan's Run TV show. No shit. There was. I didn't actually know that either. I always liked the movie, but then we found out much later, yeah, there was a short-lived, I think it only ran for 2 seasons or a season and a half or something like that, where it wasn't any of the same actors, but it was like the same world. It looked the same, like the sets and stuff. And it was basically like a guy who was, you know, tasked with like killing runners, and he ends up becoming a runner with this woman who's, I think she's technically supposed to be the same character as Jenny Agutter in the movie, because her name's Jessica, right? Wasn't that Jenny Agutter's character in the movie? But it's not the same actress. But they escape out of the Dome City. So the show is like their misadventures, like outside of the dome, like while they're trying to find sanctuary. And as so, like I said, it didn't run that long. Was it just 1 season, or was it a season and a half?
What's that?
Logan's Run.
Burley
Kev didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! I got it on fucking DVD, man, in a fucking collector's case and everything. They don't make them anymore. Yeah. You're lucky if you find it.
I didn't even know about it, and I'm pretty up on that kind of shit, but I was like, I didn't even know.
And it was the same people, the writers were the same people from Star Trek, and from the old Star Trek with Kirk and Spock, and Twilight Zone, and some of those writers actually worked on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and a bunch of other shit, like Kolchak and shit, like that. And it's good. It's good. It's about Jessica and Logan, what they do once they leave the fucking dome. Yeah. They expand the universe out a little bit. That the dome was under the control of a bunch of elders, people that fucking actually were aging. They were the ones that were controlling it. When Logan escaped, the elders sent Logan's buddy, who was another Sandman, out to go get him and kill him. Or to bring him back. That's what it was. To bring him back, and fucking they were going to get him to disavow some shit, and then they were going to kill him. So it's all the adventures of fucking Logan and Jessica once they got out of the dome. Because they find a bunch of shit in a post-apocalyptic world out there. Yeah. They find little fucking towns that are run by all robots. All the people are dead, just robots. Androids alive. Barbarians. A dude that lives in a mansion out in the middle of nowhere with his fucking hot wife, and all he does is fucking hunt human beings.
That was the most dangerous game.
Most dangerous game one.
And
he's
that
got
one,
force fields and all kinds of
his wife was fucking, oh shit, who was that actress that's in, I'll think of her name in a minute. She's really well known, like in the scene. She was in the Andy Warhol contingent, and she was in, fucking Eating Raoul, and, what was that, and Chopping Mall, and she was in all that kind of stuff. I just can't think of her name.
In one episode, they find a UFO, the fucking alien spacecraft, that had a bunch of fucking captive aliens from all over the fucking galaxy. And they were trying to take samples. Yeah.
We just rewatched it not too long ago.
Yeah. There was all different kinds of, there was probably about 15 episodes, maybe 16.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a good series, real good.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, it's very dated.
It has the worst theme.
I was going to say the theme song.
The worst theme song of all fucking series.
Can eat a dick.
It literally goes pew, pew, pew,
it's
pew, pew, pew.
It wouldn't have been bad if it wasn't for that.
It was a normal classical music opening theme that sounded great.
It's very
and then they want to put some high tech pew, 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 pew. It sounded like shit. If they got rid of the pew, pew, it'd be all right. Yeah.
That probably sounded futuristic as shit back in the 70s.
Back in those days, yeah.
I don't think well, I mean, I was alive in the 70s, but I was like I was a kid,
Yeah, and the show did...
And it was just regular, because everything sounded
The show did pretty good. The ratings were pretty good. But what happened is that Star Wars came out. And Star Wars had changed the game. and they just cut it, and instead they ended up replacing it with Battlestar Galactica, which did better on television because it was kind of had production values a little bit more like Star Wars, the old Battlestar Galactica. Which I only saw some of those. I really didn't get into Battlestar that much.
I remember my little brother watching it, maybe. I remember seeing some of them.
I wouldn't mind getting old Battlestar Galactica and seeing it again.
It's probably on one of the streaming services, I imagine. Yeah. Like, actually, a lot of the streaming services, like Amazon Prime and stuff like that, have a lot of those old TV shows. Well, holy shit, like, other night, we were drunk, we were watching fucking Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Yeah. And it was better than I remembered it, actually. It was kind of goofy. One of those
old, like, fucking...
Production values are pretty good.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. I kind of remembered it from when I was little.
Yeah. It was funnier than I remembered it.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah, kind of. But no. If you haven't seen the Logan's Run television show, it was pretty good.
Yeah, Burley says, "Oh, you guys covered the Logan's Run series." Yeah, we did a review of the movie a very long time ago, and then the show. We also reviewed the series more.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Slightly more recently.
And it's a post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalyptic fucking...
Because they're not in the Dome City. Like they're outside. There's some shit that happens in the Dome City sometimes, but it's like they're mostly like outside of the Dome.
Another one I checked out that was similar to that growing up, and when I was a kid and I watched it, was called Arc 2. We saw a couple episodes of Arc 2. That was another post-apocalyptic adventure movie.
I feel like that's been almost completely forgotten.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fucking shows back then that like didn't really get...
California-made television show.
Well, if they weren't on that long, then like nobody would. I was on a Reddit thread like earlier today or yesterday where people were like, "What's a show that you like that nobody remembers?"
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that people came up with, I'm like, "Yep, never heard of that. Never heard of that one either." A couple of them I had, but wow, there was like so much TV shows that like people just completely forgot about, and I think that was one of them. Like I said, I didn't even know about it, and I always liked the Logan's Run movie.
Yeah, Peter said he loved the Logan's Run TV series when he was a kid. It only lasted one season,
Yeah. I mean, Rem was the best part about it, I thought.
Yeah.
He was the best character.
Well, another thing good is that Jessica runs around in a little fucking short mini dress, her ass barely hanging out of it, and she's got fucking nylons on and no shoes, no real shoes, and you're wondering like, you've been in the desert for fucking 4 days, bitch. Why aren't there any runs in those nylons?
That's what I was wondering. Like, where is she getting those?
Yeah, her name was, Jessica's name was fucking, what was the actress's name?
Oh, shit, I can't remember now.
Fuck, I almost was on the tip of my tongue. She's kind of a Farrah Fawcett stand-in.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I almost said it. Fuck, it almost came to mind.
You'll think of it in a second.
And she's actually a very cute character through the whole thing. She's... kind of a cool character, and Logan himself, he's a good character in it also. It's not the same guy who was in the movie.
It was Michael York in the movie.
Yeah, but they're good characters. Yeah, from the movie they're British actors.
Yeah.
In the American version they're from California.
Yeah, they're California actors.
Menzies.
That's right, Heather Menzies.
Heather Menzies. That's right. Yeah, Heather Menzies.
I told you.
Yeah, and she kind of looks like. She kind of looks like...
she has the Farrah Fawcett
I think she's
hair.
actually better looking than Farrah Fawcett, actually. Farrah...
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah. I think she's a little better for looking. But it's just a different look. But I like her better than...
She's that kind of type, though.
Yeah, she's that kind of type, but you got to admit, though, fucking... Farrah was kind of a bimbo, and Farrah was definitely on some kind of drugs. You could tell that fucking Farrah was high. Most of the time. Oh, God. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Heather Menzies actually seems like she's there.
Yeah.
You know?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, she's not high as fuck. Yeah.
You kind of saw that a lot, like in a lot of movies and TV shows from this. And I guess I
think that was an attractive type, is to be just...
I didn't really notice it at the time, but when you see it now, you're just kind of like, holy crap, are they just high as balls the whole time? Everybody is.
Yeah. Yeah, really high.
Yes, they probably
Being high was attractive back then. Yeah.
Well,
all that weed and LSD.
Well, yeah, they were just kind of all out of it. And...
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. They were into that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. I don't know, man.
Just real compliant, you know.
That's what I was gonna say.
On the edge of giving you some pussy because she's not really there.
She's not really.
Okay, yeah,
whatever.
We'll fuck. Yeah,
like
okay,
I said, she
yeah.
doesn't really care all that much.
Yeah,
like I said, that's kind of what it's like. Really,
I think that's what it was.
That's the type of chick I like. Yeah. The one that's like doesn't even care that much. She'll just
okay, we'll
she'll just do whatever.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it's all great. We.
That kind of thing. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Peter remembers Arc 2 was a Saturday morning show.
Yeah, Arc 2.
So somebody, yeah. I did not.
I grew up with it.
I didn't remember it.
I remember some of the episodes, and when
you showed it to me, I was just kind of like, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember it.
I saw the first episode, and it was okay, but I never went back to go see some. They're on. You can get them on Amazon. Amazon has them.
I'm actually surprised how Amazon Prime has a lot of like old, weird, obscure.
They got
TV
the old
shows.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, we watched those too.
Land of the Lost was fucking kind of interesting to watch.
I loved Land of the Lost when
just
I was
because little Holly is obviously getting ready to just throw the pussy on fucking.
I mean, she's like 12.
Yeah, she's 12, but you can tell. You can tell, and she admits it.
Super into.
And she kind of admits it in a fuck. I saw it
playing her brother.
She kind of admits it in an interview. She was like, yeah, fucking. She was working aside to this dude who was her brother, and she just thought he was the hottest thing ever, and she can't talk to him without just fucking creaming.
Pretty much.
It's
hilarious.
We're watching it. We're like, Jen, you see that? You're like, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, look at her.
Yeah, she's getting ready to fucking dry hump this motherfucker.
Well, I said, when I saw it when I was a kid, and like obviously that didn't really register.
Yeah.
But like when we were watching it again recently, I'm like, holy fucking shit!
The body language,
so obvious.
The body language is amazing. She put one foot here and one foot there and another foot here.
She's looking at like
she's just constantly trying to climb on that dick.
Yeah, you know like, that's your brother. Get off of there.
Yeah, I know you're pretending to be my brother, but I'm gonna put this pussy.
Yeah, it was like that kind of.
She's a little
definitely that kind of energy.
She's not 12. I think she's 13 or 14.
Well, still.
The actress. But that's enough to have a sex drive. She's going through puberty.
Well, yeah.
And she's just fucking looking at this dude. And the guy playing her brother is probably about 19.
Yeah.
And he looks like a young man, you know what I mean? And you could see his reaction is like, well, yeah, Holly, and he's trying to act his way out of it, you know. And she just keeps. But don't you think?
Okay,
don't you think that? Don't you think that? Her face just constantly. He's like, yeah, you got to see the episodes to know what we're talking about.
They're so funny.
It's obvious, and I saw an interview. Looking at you, she's like, it's obvious that I'm very attracted.
Aw.
I was only 13, you know.
Man, it was so funny. Like I said, I didn't realize it at the time because I was probably younger than her when I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either until I was an adult.
But when we watched it
calm
again
the
as an
fuck
adult,
down.
I was like, holy crap, down,
Jesus
girl.
Christ. Keep your clothes on.
It was so fucking cute, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really her brother. Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, you know, nothing bad happened. It's okay.
No, they're just trying to work together and fucking. The poor male actors, I don't know the guy's name. He's just trying to play it. Yeah, Holly, yeah. He keeps backing up a little bit. Yeah, Holly, yeah. She's oh well.
You want to give me a piggyback? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like that kind of
my feet hurt so much. My feet hurt. Look at my feet hurt so much. You know, just look at my hands. It's just fucking hilarious.
You have to carry me.
You gotta see it. Yeah. Poor girl.
Man, the Slee Stacks still rule though.
yeah. The Slee Stacks and Enoch. And what was funny about watching Land of the Lost, I think we saw 5 or 6 episodes of it.
Yeah.
Is how fast it moved.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, well, it seemed like it took forever for them to introduce Enoch and the Slee Stacks. No, that's like episode 2.
Yeah.
It was just
like, wait,
quick.
already?
And then the fucking pylons and the fucking crystals.
I love that shit.
And then now all of a sudden they're fucking with time and space and different dimensions and shit. And you're like, man, I'm just a little kid. I'm watching this and they're bending fucking space time with fucking Stone Age technology made by lizards. It's a great program when you were a kid.
That's where David Icke got the
David
idea.
Icke, the Slee Stack.
He saw Land of the Lost and thought that was a documentary.
Yeah. For you British people, you had Doctor Who. I didn't have Doctor Who until much later.
We had Doctor Who was on PBS.
Yeah, we got it a little bit. We got it a couple years late. like maybe a year or two after.
Because my cousin always watched it when I was a kid. He was a couple years older.
Yeah, Tom Baker. I love Tom Baker, Doctor Who. But our dumb, it was all well acted. It didn't have a big budget, but neither did Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost and Doctor Who probably had a similar budget. But the writing on Doctor Who was a lot better. It was a good program. Tom Baker's always going to be my Doctor Who. The rest of them, that's not really.
Yeah.
David Tennant was okay.
Yeah, he was a good one. I like him actually.
But Tom Baker.
Really, Kev says Prime and Tubi are gold mines for 70s and 80s movies. Yeah, honestly, and Tubi is fucking free, and I am constantly shocked at how much shit is on there. Yeah, there's commercials, but they don't cut anything, so it's just kind of like I watched The Hunger on there last night. Matter of fact, they had it on Amazon Prime too, but it was $3.99. But on Tubi, it didn't cost anything, so I just watched it.
Zach said there's a Tomb Raider show starting. They're starting filming for Amazon. We'll see if it's any good. They fuck everything up now.
No, they don't.
Nah, they fuck up.
Not
everything up.
Amazon Prime's done Fallout. So.
Yeah. We'll see how it is. We'll see.
And I mean, Hulu did Alien Earth. That was good.
Yeah. Fuck it. I was with. There's this guy that said, "Stop blaming the Jews for everything. If the Jews still controlled Hollywood, you'd have good movies." And I was like, "Yeah, you're actually right."
It's like, why are you yelling at
Yeah, why do you think that Jews knew how to get asses into seats? They fucking gave people what they wanted. They had good movies, man. And there's not as many of them in control as Hollywood
That's
anymore.
pretty funny that there's like a Jewish guy being like, "Don't blame us for."
Yeah. So the Jews said, "Don't blame us. If we still control Hollywood, you have good movies." And I was like,
Leave us alone.
Yeah, you're right, man. Fucking because there's a definite track record. All I got to do is go back and look at those last names of all those fucking movies that I love. And yeah, the Jews were. And you look at the fucking shit that they're making now, and I'm not seeing any Jewish names there. Oh, man. But no, if there's a Tomb Raider on Amazon, here's the thing I'm worried about. I love the fucking Tomb Raider, the older games, especially like the 90s games that came out, fucking legend. Fucking great, man. Even some of the older stuff from the fucking early 90s, the very first Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. I have remastered versions of them that I can play. You can play them with upgraded graphics, and they're good. And then even after Legend, there was another Tomb Raider that came after that had better graphics. That was the one, I don't remember, where she had the boat and everything. Fuck, I forgot the name of that one. It was. Lara Croft was Lara was kind of like the female version of James Bond, but she was a rich chick who fucking would steal fucking ancient items that had paranormal powers, try to save the world. She was very much kind of like a female James Bond type character. But her fucking main attributes is that she was rich. She was hot as shit. She had big boobs and she could do all this shit. And she was extremely intelligent and was, knew archaeology and stuff. You can't fucking take Lara Croft and make her like asexual. That's just not what that character was from the very beginning. The very beginning, that was the original video game gooner fucking chick. When she first appeared in video games, she had big boobs. She just did. And those little nerdy video game guys playing it. But she's not a... This goes back to what I was saying before with the Russ Myers movie. There's no reason why a big boob chick can't be the leading role. That doesn't mean she's dumb. That doesn't mean she's fucking, Lara could fight. She was intelligent. She was fucking real educated about archaeology and history and mythology and mysticism and shit. She's a female James Bond. Don't fuck with that character. She's sexy. So was fucking James Bond. Fucking don't fuck with him. So if they come out with a new Amazon Lara Croft or Tomb Raider, it's got to be as close to the fucking vibe of the game as they did with Fallout.
Yeah, because Fallout's exactly like
Fallout's exactly like it. So if you're gonna have fucking Lara Croft, she better be Lara Croft. And Lara was a gymnast. She had her own home gym. You play it in the game. You have to go through her gymnasium to fucking find these big coins and to fucking level up and shit. She wasn't just born looking that way. She worked for it. And it looked like she bought some implants too. That's just how the world is. She's a rich girl. Looked like she had fake lips too. That's how it is. She's a rich girl. So when they come out, if that shit comes out, she better look the part. Okay. I'm just going to say.
Well, I imagine so many people would have complained about that.
Yeah, she better look the part. And she better be impressive. All right? Because...
CB asked what you thought about Angelina Jolie's one.
Not bad.
She was actually okay
not
in
bad.
that role. I didn't mind her.
Yeah, not bad. That's about what they were talking about.
I do like the games. I like that. I always liked those games.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really care about seeing the movies that much, but the movies were alright.
Yeah, she wasn't bad.
But and yeah, she seemed like pretty good in that.
That's what the video games were talking about. Yeah. Go to the restroom.
When Burley Kev was talking about Tubi before, I was going to say Tubi is also a gold mine for MST and Riff Tracks. They have so many MST episodes and so many Riff Tracks episodes. It's ridiculous. It's like that. I'm actually shocked. Like, they have so much fucking shit. And you can't even, like, unless you know what you wrote. The only thing, their search has gotten a little bit better recently. Because I remember when I used to use Tubi a lot, like, their search was kind of shitty. Like, unless you knew exactly what you were looking for, it was kind of hard to find stuff because they had so much stuff. It seems like it's slightly better organized now. Like, it looks like they have smaller... Like, when I looked the other day, they've actually put things into, like, very small categories. Like, 80s horror, 90s horror, you know, folk horror. Like, they have, like, little categories so you can find stuff easier, which is good. But still, I'm always, like, fucking shocked, like, what I come across out there. They have, like, fucking everything. So, I mean, between Tubi and Prime, and we also have Hulu... I have HBO Max because that came free with my phone plan, and I also have Shudder. And between that, it's like you can pretty much see whatever... I mean, you might have to pay a couple bucks to rent it, but you can pretty much see whatever you want to see. Like, as far as series or... Not everything. I did notice, because I think a couple weeks back we were talking about Pink Floyd The Wall, and I was just like, oh shit, we should review that. I haven't seen that in a million years. And... man, you can't really find it. It's, like, really hard to find it. So it's like, well, I don't know if I want to buy it. It's just that, you know, I just wanted to stream it. I'm willing to pay, like, a few dollars, like, to rent something. You know, I don't mind paying $3.99 or whatever it is. But some movies, you just can't, like, some movies just fall between the cracks and it's hard to find them. But most things, like, I've been able to find, even if you have to pay a little bit of money to rent them, which, like I said, I don't mind. But I always check Tubi first, because sometimes they have the shit for free. Like I said, last night, I watched The Hunger.
Oh, sorry.
What happened? Did you step on her?
Yeah, I stepped on you.
Is she okay? Man, Bambi will just run right under your feet. Did she run under your feet?
No, I accidentally kind of stepped on her.
Oh, no.
She took my...
Oh, it's okay. Bambi
This-
never gets to be on the show.
This is Bambi. She's never on the show.
I think she's been on the show one time. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm very nervous
okay.
about this. It's okay. Look
It's
at the
okay.
people,
Let me call
Bambi.
it, yeah. This is Bambi.
Hey. Hey, Bambi.
Yeah.
She is literally like the sweetest kitty ever.
Yeah, she's super sweet.
But she's a little skittish still.
Yeah.
We've had her a couple years.
Yeah. She's just getting to where she'll stay up in bed with us now.
Yeah. I don't know why she wouldn't before. Like, she seemed really nervous.
She started to get in bed when I started feeding her.
Yeah.
So I guess okay, she's okay.
Yeah.
So
I think she was scared of you, maybe.
Yeah.
We thought maybe, I don't know what, we adopted her from, well, we got her from PetSmart, but they had just got her from a shelter in Tampa, like the day that we went in there and saw her and got her. And she was 18 months old when we got her, and she had already had a litter.
Yeah.
And we didn't know, like, what the household was like that she came from. Well, we heard that they had relinquished her when she had kittens, and I was
Yeah.
like, why didn't you get her fixed? That's kind of what you're supposed to do, so that doesn't happen. So I'm assuming just because they didn't get her fixed and then got mad when she had kittens, that they probably weren't the best kitty parents.
Peter's saying he grew up with all those shows. You see that? He saw it. He said, I saw the interview. She admitted she had a massive crush on him. His name was Will. That was the character's name.
I can't remember the actor's name. I can see his face, but I can't. I know his name.
It's obvious when you look at it now. Yeah.
It's just, it was so funny. Like I said, I hadn't seen that show in such a long time. And then I was like, let's watch Land of the Lost. I haven't seen that since I was little. Yeah. And then I was like, holy crap, she's going to like just jump right on that dude's dick.
Said the new Tomb Raider has Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. I had no idea who that is.
The name's familiar, but I can't picture her. Like I said, I know I never started watching Game of Thrones. Everybody tells me that I should, but I just...
Is she stacked? Does she look fucking... She's got to be stacked.
That's all Tom cares about.
Oh, well, no. For that character, her signature is that she was a rich girl who was a fucking gymnast. She was stacked as fuck. All right? And she was great with guns and real educated and fucking, real competent. She had a British accent. It's just like James Bond. There's a certain fucking things that you have to be James Bond. You know what I mean? Well, it's the same thing with Lara. There got certain things you got to be Lara. And good with guns, a gymnast, real educated, British accent, stacked. Because she was stacked when she appeared.
Yeah. I still remember the older games, like back then even it was kind of blocky.
Yeah, it was real blocky.
But she still had those big boobies.
Big boobs, yeah, and they bounced.
Bouncing.
They bounced. Yeah.
I still remember the bouncing blocky too.
Yeah. Yeah, and she had the kind of boobs that you have to pay for. And she's
those aren't natural.
Yeah, that's not. So you're.
I know she's a fictional character.
But the thing, she's a fictional character, but she's rich.
Yeah.
She's gonna buy some.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Especially back in the day when that character came out, girls that had money bought implants. They just did.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We'll see.
If they were posh, posh girls had big implants.
DVD Dragon says she's unfortunately not stacked. Nier was the Alicia Vikander, I guess, in the last reboot.
Okay, I will predict if she's not stacked, it's gonna fail.
Well, everyone's gonna complain.
Yeah, there's a fandom.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fucking bring everybody on board, you have to bring the fandom on first, and then when the fandom's on there, the new people show up and see what the fandom sees. If you piss that fandom off, it'll never happen. That's what happened with Star Trek.
That's the people that's going to watch your shit. So
yeah. You gotta have...
You have to pander to them.
You have to pander to that core fan base. But, like I said, Hollywood and these people that fucking make movies, have this weird issue with boobs and sexuality. They think it's sexist or something. That's your weak interpretation. What I see it is female empowerment. A woman with big old boobs is the same as a dude with a big old dick. But you say, I don't like that. Because they're kind of like, there's a lot of women in there writing and shit, and they're flat. All right, let's be honest, they're flat. There's a lot of dudes that wrote these fucking stories about these big dick motherfuckers, and they got little bitty dicks. They could take it. You know what I mean? Well, we're trying to get asses into seats. Put a big dick on the motherfucker. You think James Bond had a little dick? No, that's a big dick motherfucker. That's what they're talking about.
Does anyone know what the canon is about James Bond's dick size?
It's implied
Zach might know.
It's Zach, you should know. It is implied. It is implied by the lore that James Bond is a machine. So he's at least 7 inches. At least.
I just wondered if there was like any canonical dick size out there. I never thought I'd think about that, but I'm like, wow,
Bond is a big dick white boy.
You know? I mean, it would be kind of weird to have James Bond and then he's just kind of like average
yeah,
size.
little diamond cutter, little 1-inch diamond cutter. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what they're talking about. Snake Plissken. What kind of snake are we talking about? When he takes his shirt off, you see it's a snake is coming out from his fucking armband. Yeah. Big cobra coming out from his pants. Snake was named after his dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Burley Kev says 007 inch.
007 inch. That's right. 007 inch. That's right.
Well, hopefully not .007. That would
no. 7 inch. 7. At least.
DVD Dragon says, speaking of dudes with big dongs, Willem Dafoe got a monster.
That doesn't surprise me.
I've heard.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
I've heard.
How do you think he got ahead in Hollywood?
I've heard.
Probably.
Well, wait, now...
He had a character, too. It's all... It's everything.
It's
not just one thing, but come on. He was a statement maker.
Well, wait, now, did he show his dick in Antichrist? Because he was in that, and I remember there was a lot of nudity and evisceration of genitalia and whatnot, but it's like, I can't remember if he showed his dick in that. He did, didn't he? I don't remember how big it was. I wasn't really... That's a fucked up movie, by the way. It's great, but it's kind of fucked up.
You want another drink?
I just made one.
What time is it?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
Is that Pookie or Bam?
Yeah, it's Pookie.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that Bambi got on the show for a second because I feel like Pookie gets all the attention. And we actually have 3 cats, but Beijing is our older cat, and she hardly ever comes upstairs. She hangs out downstairs most of the time. She comes up every now and then to steal food. She's like, do you guys have different shit? I was like, no, but okay. She thinks we have different shit up here. So she's going to come and see what we got. Or she'll come up if there's, like when the people were working on the kitchen and stuff, she would come up here and hide. But other than that. But yeah, that's now you're making me like wonder about fucking that Antichrist movie. What happened in that? Did she cut his dick off or cut it in half or something? What was that scene? It's been a while since I've seen that fucking movie. I know some fucked up shit happened to people's genitals in that movie. But like, I haven't seen it in a long time. That's another one. I should probably review that one now that I'm thinking about it. Like I said, I got a couple reviews in the can. Because I'm trying to... I feel bad because it's like I did my, year-end movies of 2025 thing, but I kind of feel like before that, I hadn't really been putting anything up. And so I try to, over the last couple days, I try to watch a couple movies and, review those, and so I'm going to put those up. I watched one called A Desert, and I watched one called Marshmallow, which is kind of like a summer camp slasher, but not with a twist, Yeah. So both of those are on Shudder. So I'm gonna put reviews of those up over the next week or so.
Peter Bohr says they're making movies they want to make instead of what the public wants. Exactly. If you're gonna do Croft, Lara was. I played the games, all the cut scenes. All the voice acting and the video, you get a real good feel for who that character is. She's a very high class, very educated, kind of slightly snotty British girl who was born to a billionaire class. So they're right there. All right. Her physicality's off the charts. She's fucking trains in gymnastics, fucking rock climbing, spelunking, anything you would need to be a damn adventurer, she does it. She's got a fucking fantastic kit of fucking firearms. Fucking most of the times it was 2 HK pistols. All right, fucking MP5s, really cool fucking little tiny backpack with fucking sonar equipment, fucking internet connections back when you really didn't have that, so she could do live connections with fucking her support team back at her fucking mansion. She was kind of like something out of a fucking old Duran video where you have your own yacht. She'd have her own yachts and she would show up and fucking sail across the ocean and goes, oh, I love Ghana, and she'd jump out of the damn fucking boat in a fucking bikini with machine guns and shit. and then swim to the bank and climb up a fucking rock and get into a fucking ancient temple. You know, she was like James Bond, man. She was like a Navy SEAL and a fashion model, and then she could go fucking to the top of a fucking sail to fucking Tokyo and get to the top of a fucking skyscraper and hang out with a Yakuza and shit and sweet talk to Yakuza into giving her some idol and shit, and then break out into a big gunfight up in there where she'd fighting rival Yakuza gangs. She was a very, very cool character. But her signature was just how beautiful she was. She had mind and body, you know. And she was stylish, you know, like James Bond, fucking height of fashion. Always had the fucking best, most up-to-date designer shit. And that shit girls are into. She was a very feminine character. And it was a feminine empowerment fantasy. And dudes fucking got off on it. For some reason, you know, these girls coming out of college and shit, you know what I mean, with their fucking fucked up hair and the fucking piercings and big fucking bone in the nose and shit, they're not into that. Because she's the female James Bond. They can't compete with that, so they don't want that around. And that was a male designed character. Males designed it, but women women didn't play the games. But if they did play the games, they'd go, "Yeah, that's a fucking cool chick," because she was.
A lot of women played those games.
Yeah, but you know, it wasn't. There's not as many that would watch the show. You know what I mean? More men played that games, but she was just a great character.
I mean,
she was a really good female role model.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like people don't understand that like half or more than half of gamers are women.
Well, now. I was talking about back in the 90s.
Maybe back in the 90s it was like...
Back in the 90s when she appeared.
Yeah. Because I kind of feel like it's a, sort of a parallel thing with like horror where people were like, oh, girls don't watch horror. I'm like, what? Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't as acceptable, I guess. Like in the 80s, like it was mostly a dude thing. Yeah. But it's like women have always watched horror.
Yeah. Just not as many of them. The ratio is less.
Well, I think nowadays you see...
Probably better now.
Well, now you see about half and half.
Yeah.
I think because there's not a stigma about it.
Right.
Like in the 80s, there was still kind of a stigma about it. I didn't give a shit, but like a lot of people did. They didn't really want anybody knowing they were in
Lara Croft character emerged in the 90s when girls didn't play video games, really. Most of them didn't. You know, there was a few, but... demographically it wasn't there, and girls looked at video games as like something kind of nerdy, dorky, you know what I mean?
It definitely was seen as like a nerdy thing.
Yeah.
Like for a long time.
Right.
Particularly in the 80s. Like I mean, I played video games from when I was a kid because we just always had them. I have brothers, we always played them.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't think of it as particularly nerdy, but that was very much in the cultural zeitgeist at the time. That it's like if you were a video, and every movie portrayed it like that too. Yeah. Like in those days. Now it's very normalized. Like everybody plays. Like who the fuck doesn't play video games? Yeah. Everybody does. So it's just kind of like not weird anymore. It's not niche. But back in the 80s, it was very, very nerdy. It was very nerdy to play video games. It was very nerdy to play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. It was, which I liked Stranger Things.
Jen would have been there and all that nerdy shit, though, too.
So well, yeah, I'm into nerdy shit.
Usually when I'm on a show and I'm talking and Jen starts disagreeing, no, because Jen doesn't realize how unusual she is.
Well, no, I do.
Jen is not the average woman. That's why I married her. Jen saw the women I fucking dealt with before we became a thing just as friends. They were more average in the way that they were. She couldn't stand them. Okay? Yeah. Okay. But that was more like the average. And I mean, when you hear guys complaining about women, they're more like complaining about that.
About that. And I don't like those chicks either.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
I don't like those chicks
either.
Right.
Well, Lara...
They're just assholes.
Yeah. Lara was a male fantasy that also applied to women. I think the women that did see that character was like, oh, hell yeah. And, you know, me as a guy, shit, if I was ever to be reincarnated or if I, reincarnated as a woman, you want to be like Lara Croft. You're like, oh, yeah, I'd do that character.
I mean, I at least want to be a billionaire. That'd be rad.
Yeah, you're a billionaire. You're fucking fantastically gorgeous. You're fucking...
Who wouldn't want that?
You're physically fucking super fit, gymnast and shit, really good with guns. You can... go into tombs and do fucking adventure shit. You can hang out with the Yakuza and they call you Miss Croft and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you got them wrapped around your finger because you're so fucking hot. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're going to be a girl, you're going to be that. Fucking right.
Yeah,
And when you look at it, that's what James Bond was. It's just a gender swapped. That is gender swapped James Bond.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I always saw it.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of shit. Globetrotting.
Yeah.
She's not doing spy shit as much as like archaeology shit, but it's kind of there's some.
It's in the spy thing because she has to deal with the underworld. She has to deal with fucking people trying to steal shit so they can take over the world. It's the same. It's the same story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the artifacts she's trying to get are all paranormal. Once you got them, you can now open up a gate to another dimension, or you can do this and that, and and then you become a god on Earth. That type of shit. You know what I mean? It's always a paranormal thing, even though. It's
or
like,
maybe, I mean, she may be closer to like the female Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Maybe. I kind of feel like Indiana Jones
yeah. That's
closer.
a good. That's a good. But more physical. She was more physical than Indy was.
Well, yeah, like Indy was doing physical shit, but he wasn't like
he wasn't trained for it.
Right.
He just did it on
like
pure testosterone.
Yeah.
Because he's existing in another universe where it's the 40s.
Yeah.
40s and 50s. Lara's in the modern world, so you have to train to do that kind of shit, and that's what she's doing.
Got to be a general.
And she's a rich girl, so she does rock climbing. She's got rock climbing things in her gym. How to climb rocks.
Because she's got to do that for.
Because she has to do it for a job. Yeah.
So she's practicing.
And in the game, you got to go through that to unlock to get. Well, there's little things you got to collect, little silvers and golds and shit. And the only way to get there is learn how to jump and crawl and go through. You just have to play the game to see what I'm talking about. And then when you get them all, you unlock stuff.
It's funny because when you were saying earlier about like people making stuff for that they wanted to make and not what audiences wanted to see.
Well, he said that, yeah.
I was reminded, as I mentioned earlier, I was watching that David Bowie documentary, Midnight Daydream, last night. And he had a quote in there. He said in an interview, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, because they were asking him about, because if you were around at this time period, David Bowie was very successful, but he was also very experimental throughout the 70s, so, all the kind of weirdos listened to him and stuff like that. But then in the 80s, he went kind of mainstream, and a lot of people kind of accused him of selling out and whatnot. And for a while, he kind of tried to, sort of say, well, I don't really think that it's poverty makes you any purer or anything like that. I'm just kind of like trying to simplify things. But he also had a really interesting quote where he said, and like I said, again, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said that for a long time, he's like, I didn't want to make what other people liked. I was stubborn and I wanted to make other people like what I liked. And I thought that was kind of an interesting, I mean, it worked for him, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it would work for most people though. I mean, he was kind of an exception. He kind of bent the world to his own weirdness, and I feel like that's like a 1 in a million thing.
He was the right guy for the right place in the right time. It's always, it's not just one thing, it's a bunch of things happening at once.
It still blows my mind, like, and watching that documentary, because, like, I've been a, Bowie fan for a long time, but it's like, watching that documentary and seeing it all kind of laid out like that, seeing all his performances over the years and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, that is fucking amazing. That happened the way it happened.
He appeared in a time.
That was just like right place, right time, right person.
Yeah.
Just everything coalesced.
A lot of it had to do.
The right way.
A lot of it had to do with his looks. He was tall and he was thin and he was good looking, but he was also kind of odd looking. His eyes were different. One was blue, one was green. He was blind in one eye. He kind of had some strange teeth, but it was not bad teeth. They were just kind of
weird.
He was kind of weird.
Like I said, kind of weird looking, but also like sexy.
He could dance, and he was the original LARPer. All right, and he was multimedia. He could act. He was an artist. He was a musician. He could sing. He could dance. He could do film. He could do all these different kind of things. But I think one of the main thing was that he was live action role playing. He was a rock star. Every time you bought a fucking album from him, and I remember going through this because this is when this was happening in the 80s and 90s, and I could go back and buy the albums from the 70s. Every time an album would appear, it's Bowie, but he's playing a different character, and he's not telling you he's playing another character. You got to figure that out for yourself. Each album, it's like, okay, that's the guy that I like to listen to, but he's different now. He's a different person now. He's a shit. You go back to the 70s. He's a rock star that was talking to aliens, and he's fucking from Mars. And then all of a sudden, he's a lad, insane, a crazy motherfucker. Now he's over here. He's a European fascist, a fucking highbrow European fascist on the Station to Station album. You know, that an aristocrat. And then all of a sudden on fucking Ashes to Ashes, he's like a fucking weird punk rock fucking clown and an astronaut. All what the fuck is this? And then, you know, and now all of a sudden, you know, fucking on fucking Let's Dance, he's a pop star. But he's a retro pop star. He looks like he's back coming from the 30s or the 40s or something, you know? He was always different. He was constantly rebranding himself. And the music was always whatever was hot at that time.
Or a little bit ahead.
But a little bit ahead of it, yeah. And then when The Outside came out, the album in the 90s, it's industrial.
Yeah.
Okay? And that was the one where one of the songs ended up being on fucking Starship Troopers. It's like a weird version of industrial. Even though Skinny Puppy and 242 had been around for a long time, but it's kind of industrial. He was
that's what I was saying about like people like creaming their jeans over Nine Inch Nails or Marilyn Manson, and I was like, Skinny Puppy's been doing
They've been doing that shit forever.
For a long time.
Yeah. And Kraftwerk before that.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
so, you know, but it was...
Seen it. Like, we were just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before. This is just different version. So
nobody else had, but
right.
I guess.
So what you end up with, eventually, and even Bowie in that program admitted it, and I said it before, Bowie really wanted to be an actor more than anything else, an actor and an artist. And he was a great actor. He's very good. Every movie you see him in, he's fucking, damn, he's good. Even in the one where he played Nikola Tesla before he died, really good. Bowie was an entertainer. And he admitted that it took him a while when he was in his 40s to kind of admit to himself that he was an entertainer. And I asked Jenny, I says, why is it he didn't want to see himself as an entertainer? And Jen said, well, I guess when you think you're an entertainer, you're doing what other people want you to do.
Want. And he didn't want to do that. He wanted to do what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he wanted other people to like it. And like I said, I think you were in the bathroom, but he said pretty much exactly that.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't want to do what other people wanted me to do. I was stubborn. I wanted to make other people like what I liked.
For me...
That's what he said.
For me, having a background in theater and then being a soldier and all sort of shit, fucking when you say entertainer, to me that's the highest praise. So I don't know why he... Because I'm an American, so it's different.
Well, I mean, artists don't really feel the same way. They always just kind of like, they're a lot more internal. They want to express things and have other people get it, but it's like they don't want to do things for other people.
I always saw art as just another genre of entertainment. If it doesn't entertain you, it's not really good art. You know what I'm talking about? You're seeing it, you're appreciating the art, and that's where the entertainment is. Even if you don't like it and you're getting an emotional reaction, it's still a form of entertainment.
I do agree that good art should provoke an emotional reaction.
Yeah,
whether positive or negative, it doesn't really matter.
And any emotional reaction, to me, if it's being given to you by someone else and you're kind of there for the experience, is a type of entertainment.
But the thing about it is that a lot of artists don't primarily do it for that. They usually do it... As I mentioned earlier, they usually do it for therapy. They're working some shit out.
Fine. Well, that's them. I'm talking about as the consumer of it.
Yeah.
Me being an American, I was always, Hollywood, Las Vegas show fucking performers, entertainers, club entertainment. You know what I mean? There was a different genre of entertainment where you went to a nightclub, sat at a table, fucking ordered food and drink, and you had dudes walking around and singing and entertaining you in shows and shit, Sammy Davis and shit. And they were entertainers. And in the United States, that was a pretty at that time considered to be like a high art form, to be an entertainer. An entertainer could do a little bit of everything. And I didn't have a problem with it. But it's probably cultural. I see everything as a form of entertainment. I mean, a gladiator would be an entertainer.
Well, it might be cultural partially, and it might, like I said, just be personality type, like I said.
Yeah.
Because
a gladiator is an entertainer. A porn star is an entertainer. A model is an entertainer. A fucking, in a way, a motorcycle engineer that can make badass motorcycles is an entertainer. Because you can buy that motorcycle and ride it and love it. And that's a form of entertainment. That's the way I would see it. Even though it's engineering. Just going to say, you know, a dude who can make custom choppers or custom, any type of custom motorcycle. When you look at it, it's art, but it's also entertainment. You can ride it. And then once you're riding it, you can almost, that brand can almost be part of you. You could go to a club and other guys, other riders and other people will go like, man, that's a badass bike. Oh, you look great, man. Fucking cool outfit. And it's almost kind of like entertainment, show business. That's just, but, you know, this is my interpretation of the world, I guess.
Like I said, it's just, a lot of times, artists, particularly somebody like Bowie, was just kind of like, he wanted to be an artist, first and foremost. And artists are usually, and he talked a great deal about this in the documentary, where he was just trying to work out his own shit. He was just doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and it so happened that, you know, he was in the right place in the right time, and he was talented enough that it broke through to the mainstream. But sadly, that doesn't always happen. Like, sometimes it happens after the artist dies, like, they appreciate it. But most times, artists don't do shit for other people.
Yeah.
They do stuff for themselves because they have to.
Okay.
But shit, like, even Stephen King said this, and he's probably the most popular writer in the world, but he's like, it's not, and I get this too, it's not, you're not doing it for other people, you're doing it because you have to. It's a compulsion. Like, you have to get it out. Like, you have stories and you have to get it out. You're not worried about what happens after. Okay. So I think that most artists have that mindset. Like, if it's successful, cool. Like, most of them are like, oh, okay, awesome. Well, but it's just like they're not really doing it for that, most of them.
Well, if I ever call somebody an entertainer, for me, it's the highest compliment. Because
I'm just saying that's probably what the distinction was and why you didn't understand that, why he was kind of, I don't think he was offended by it. It just took him a long time to...
He eventually realized that he's an entertainer. And he became one with that. But he was more than that, too. He seemed to be a very good dude and a wise businessman in terms of fucking real estate fucking investment, because evidently he was to date. I don't know if it's what I'm saying is totally up to date, but up to a certain point, you know, sometime in the 90s or the 2000s, he was one of the richest rock stars of all times. But he didn't make his money in music. He made it in real estate. So.
But yeah, one of the things they went a lot into this in the documentary is that one of the things that he would do a lot, like in the earlier days of his career, 70s, 80s, is that, you know, once he was successful and he had enough money to do what he wanted, so it's just kind of like he would just move to another country. And he said normally he would move to a country that he was like scared of moving to.
Yeah.
Because he didn't speak the language or anything like that, because he wanted the challenge. He wanted to see what would happen, and he wanted to see what would happen to his writing, and he wanted to see what was up. So he was like a true artist in that sense, where he was just always, he never wanted to be complacent, and he never wanted to, he was always like saying, what scares me? Like, what am I uncomfortable with? Let's do that. Like, he would always do that. And I think that's probably why he was, I mean, he was just fucking an extraordinary person. You know what I mean? And it's like, Peter says, I saw him in the Orange Bowl Glass Spider Tour.
That was a great album.
It was an amazing concert. Yeah.
Day in, day out. Yeah, day in,
it's
day
just
out.
Like, it just makes me...
a good album.
I think watching it last night kind of made me think it's like this... The amazing thing... It kind of blows my mind that, like, he got famous in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just because of how out there he was. But he was able to take people on that journey. You know?
What was amazing about...
I don't think anyone could have done that.
What was amazing about
him.
the boy is that he was in his 40s by the time I was fucking a senior in high school. He still looked fantastic. He was still fucking making great music. He was in rock terminology an old man at 40 and was still fucking just killing it. And the 90s ran around. When the 90s came around, I thought he looked the best that he ever fucking looked.
He looks cool as fuck in the 90s.
In that fucking long fucking leather fucking Union Jack cloak. Or was it no that British coat fucking, and then he had the little goatee and the fucking hair, and he was doing fucking what I'm Afraid of Americans and all that kind of shit. Fuck that song. That was what year was that? 96 maybe.
Can't remember.
Maybe or might have been like a little bit before that, maybe 94, 95. I don't remember. I think because that was before the outside. I think. I have to go back and look in my fucking. Because you see, the thing is that you had that one album that came out probably about 93 or 94 that had the Morrissey cover on it. That was really good too.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What was
when
the
did
name
he
of
do
that
Tin Machine?
Oh, there was two. I think two Tin Machines. They were great. I had them both.
Yeah.
That was
early 90s.
That was no late 80s. The first one was late 80s. So it must have been like
89,
89, 88 around that time.
I can't remember.
And then there was another one that came out like 91. I think Tin Machine 2. And it had the Soupy Sales' sons are in there.
I remember it being.
And it was fucking good. It was hard. It was hard rock. Really good. And they didn't mention Tin Machine.
Yeah, they didn't.
They should have. Because some of his best work was done with a rock band called Tin Machine.
Because I was wondering if they would, but they didn't. They didn't talk about Tin Machine.
Really good. It was hard.
Well, they mostly focused on 70s, 80s. They talked a little bit about the 90s.
And the 90s, yeah.
And then it was just kind of like, he made good music like his whole life, really. They talked about him meeting Iman and all that. Like, they had some stuff about him meeting her. But then they showed some, like, stuff, like, before he died, like Black Star and all of that. But, it was mostly kind of focused on his younger years. But, I mean, that was kind of, I don't know if I would call it his heyday, but I guess that's kind of what everybody remembers most about him. So it's like they kind of focused on that. But, yeah, I mean, he was making music up until he died. I mean, pretty much. So, and it was all good. So, can't ask for more than that, honestly. And, I mean, I would argue out of all of them, I mean, he was easily the most extraordinary musician, entertainer, or whatever you want to call it. And he was just multimedia. Like, he could do everything. He could paint, he could sculpt, he could act, he could do whatever, Amazing. Burley Kev said, Cabaret Voltaire. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Them too. That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of, like, proto-industrial, I guess if you want to call it that. It's like, yeah, we talk a lot about Skinny Puppy, but then you had, like, shit like Throbbing Gristle and shit like that.
The album I was thinking about from the 90s was called Black Tie, White Noise.
Oh, that's right.
That was such a good album, man.
I remember that.
I haven't heard it in a long time. And that had a Morrissey cover on it.
Yeah, didn't he cover shit? The slower one.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I had it on my Spotify somewhere, but I can't remember what song it was. It's not Tomorrow.
No.
But it was from.
No, it's gonna happen someday. No.
Oh yeah.
Was it that one?
I know it's gonna happen someday.
I'm
pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's the song he covered. Somebody can look it up.
Yeah.
That's a great song, by the way. But yeah, Bowie did a great cover of it.
Yeah. See, y'all think we're fucking fronting. No, we know all this shit. We grew up with all that crap. Yeah.
Who thinks we're fronting?
I was talking. I'm just hyping the show. I'm a hype man, like Flavor Flav.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need a big clock.
Like a little Flavor Flav. That's so fucking funny when Flavor Flav fucking hooked up with Bridget Nielsen.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Total opposites. Little 5'2" Flavor Flav.
That was stunt casting.
They were in. She was into him. She thought he was fucking great. What was great is
I mean, he might be super cool. I don't know. I don't know the dude.
He's a little bitty funny crackhead. But Brigitte Nielsen was kind of like he's a crackhead.
That's what he puts in his dating profile. She was a little bitty funny.
Funny crackhead. He was hilarious. Oh, at his roast, they had a Flavor Flav roast, and most of it was about him being a fucking crazy fucking crackhead.
But everybody knew he was a crackhead.
Everybody knew that was his shtick,
and he wasn't ashamed of being a crackhead, so it's okay.
No. Well, he may not have been so bad where he couldn't control it, but he liked crack. And fucking Brigitte Nielsen.
Don't we all? No.
Brigitte Nielsen was a typical Hollywood kind of reject, you know what I mean? Fucking, she hadn't worked in a long time. And what are you going to do when how tall? I want you all to look it up. How tall was Brigitte Nielsen? She was got to be close to 6 feet tall. She was big.
She was quite taller than average. Yeah.
I just saw her walking by, you know, fucking, her feet looked huge. And it's just, so you have a little mismatch. A little bitty short black dude, a big old tall white dude. A big old tall white dude. Big old tall white chick.
She's not.
And they both were kind of out of work.
Yeah, so they got.
They were both famous.
So
they were both misfits, so they kind of, you know, had some in common.
I get it.
But no, she just said she loved him. She was, you know, doing talk shows and doing the roast with him. You
like
know?
I said, he might have been super fun to hang around.
Yeah. Definitely.
You would think that all of the crack would like get old after a while.
No, everybody knew
that. Not.
Everybody knew him. Said he was hilarious.
Maybe that just made it more fun. Who knows? I'm sure it probably affected people in different ways.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean, obviously, your experience of life is much softened when you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And are running in those circles, so you wouldn't experience life. You know, you're not living in some fucking flop house or some like.
I think those two at the
crack
time.
whore motel.
I think those two at that time I had pretty much gone.
Or sucking bums' dicks for $5.
Yeah, I think those two at the time that all that shit was going down was the money was pretty much gone. But they were still in the Hollywood scene and had a lot of friends, and they were able to survive. But they weren't like, they didn't have mansions. You know what I mean?
Right.
They weren't like that. They were probably just living like.
But they were still like adjacent.
Yeah, people knew them.
Yeah, they were still famous enough that they could probably get by without having to like I said.
Yeah, Flav wasn't touring anymore. You know, he was not working. But they were doing those shows. Remember those MTV?
Well, is that how they met, or am I remembering?
I think
that
they
wrong?
met. They met on a fucking show.
On one of those shows. It wasn't "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here." It was one of those like reality.
Yeah, shows. It was like a reality show, celebrity something or other. Yeah.
DVD Dragon says Tom knows how to handle the girls with the big feet.
Yeah, I told some big feet stories over the time.
I have just for the record.
I'm only 5'6".
I have very small feet.
Yeah,
I am only 5'2".
Yeah, but she got little bitty feet.
I have little bitty feet.
Yeah, I told.
Not that there's anything wrong with big feet. I'm just saying that I have really small feet.
What he's talking about is when I lived in Brazil in high school, going to international high school called Escola Graduada de São Paulo, very famous school. Fucking. You can look it up. I briefly dated a Swedish girl there who was probably like about 6'2", and it was because I was probably one of the shortest guys in the senior year, and she was definitely the tallest girl in school.
Tall girls have it rough.
They got it rough.
They got it rough, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I was friends with some 6 foot plus girls in high school.
Yeah.
They had a hard time.
Yeah. And it was more kind of like a fucking, we were friends and we like hooked up a couple times. This is toward the very end of the year before graduation. So nobody was going to see anybody again. So it was very risk free. And so it's more like a dating. She wasn't really a girlfriend. She was just dating, but we hooked up. And yeah, we went to the Love Motel a couple times.
The Love Motel.
The Love Motel. They had Love Motels like Japan. You drive in, fucking little pool and fucking.
That's kind of a nice service. I kind of wish more places would have that.
And
case, I mean, it can even be like for married couples, you don't feel like fucking in your house.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of sick of fucking in your house. We'll go to like a new location. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of spice things up.
And it was strange. You know what I mean? It was fun. You know, I liked her. What was strange about it though was like the positions fucking, if you're gonna go doggy style on her, fucking, you almost need like a high
like
chair. Okay, I felt fucking.
Can I
was like,
stand on
man,
a chair or something?
I feel like a fucking Chihuahua, fucking a Great Dane or something. Chick's fucking huge, and during some of that stuff, you know, I went and look at her foot, and I almost lost my heart on.
Really, because her feet were big.
Yeah, I was like, ugh. You know.
Oh.
It's a huge foot, you know what I mean? Bigger than a man's foot from my point of view. I was like, God, you know, that foot's huge. It's probably like an American size. This is probably like a men's 13.
Good Lord.
It's like, fucking what the fuck?
That's big.
Yeah.
I just wear a size.
Her name was, I think her name was Camilla.
I just wear a size 6 on my feet.
Oh no, it's a huge fucking foot. But I had to like shake out of it real quick. I was like, no. Don't look at that.
Don't look at her feet.
Don't look at her feet. Yeah, because it was just the rest of her. She looked great. It was proportional.
Yeah.
It's just that she was pretty. She was just so fucking big. You know what I mean? You didn't really want to look at anything in isolation. And one of the things that freaked me out was the size of her feet.
The size of her feet.
Yeah. Because she had a real fucking like sexy little fucking pump on with a little like a 3-inch heel or something on it at the time, the 80s shoes.
Yeah.
Because this is late 80s. And if you put that pump next to my fucking tennis shoe, and she was like, my shit looked like a child's shoe next to that shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking funny.
She's like a giantess.
Like, whoa.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Because a woman's shoes, like, I like shoes. You know, I got a shoe fetish. I don't have a foot fetish, but I do have a shoe fetish. I think shoes are fucking sexy. Yeah. And you have a sexy shoe, but you like it's huge. You know,
it's like I don't know. I kind of have a weird boner. I'm not sure.
This is a sexy shoe for a tranny. This is for a man. You know?
This is a big man shoe.
This is a fucking big ass man shoe. Is what it looked like.
Well, wow. Now I'm really glad I have small feet.
Well,
but I'm also not 6 foot.
Yeah,
I'm a little short.
You're normal size.
I'm fun size.
She was a big. She was a big Nordic fucking Swedish girl, and she was big for a Swedish girl. You know, most Swedish girls were not that big. She was just a big old fucking Swedish girl.
Hideja says in Japan, couples go to love hotels because they don't want the grandparents or great grandparents hearing all the noise. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of them live with their families. In multi-generational households, which I get it. So there's kind of more of a need for it.
Yeah.
You know, in the United States, it's funny because I was on this, I don't even remember what the fucking thread was the other day, but it was somebody from Turkey? No. India? I think they were from India.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of like, wow, I was in the United States, and it's like, wow, you guys don't live with your families. That's really weird.
Yeah, most countries do.
And I was just like, technically most people move away from their parents. And then like a lot of the people were laughing like, yeah, haha, have you met our parents? We don't want to live with our fucking parents. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't want to have sex and like them listening in the next room.
American society was
weird.
American society was rich. So they didn't have to live with the
well,
same...
and it's very based on independence, like going out and finding your own way kind of thing.
Most of the world isn't like that. Brazil wasn't like that. The love hotels were because it was multi-generational households.
And you wanted some privacy.
And but it's also dudes that were at least middle class. Pretty much all of them had mistresses. There was a mistress culture there. So you have to have a place to take your girlfriend. And prostitution was technically illegal, but totally encouraged.
Yeah.
It wasn't even... And that's a weird factor. That's only a Central American thing where something can be illegal, but it's encouraged.
But it's like not stigmatized.
Not even stigmatized. They're not enforcing it. It's just culturally where that's right. And it makes sense when you're in South America. The economy's not good, and it's always unstable. It's a growing population. They're Catholic countries, so people get married pretty young. There are no jobs, really, for anyone. If you're a good-looking young woman, you're coming from destitution. Your only way to move up is through your beauty and your body. Because there's just no jobs. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a prostitute. But being a girlfriend is almost kind of like a job. So a lot of them will have good-looking girls usually have a sugar daddy. That's a good way to put it. He's married. So most successful guys have a mistress. And that's why a lot of your Central and South American movies and this happens according to a Russian friend of mine, it's the same thing in Russia. Their soap operas usually involve a guy's wife and the mistress, where the wife and the mistress are friends and they're plotting against the husband.
Ooh, like
that's like a big thing. And they're trying to work their feminine game to get something out of dude. That kind of shit is happening. And then sometimes shit breaks out between the wife and the mistress, where they're lovers. Mm-hmm. That's also happening in soap operas. That happens all throughout.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Most of the civilized world.
Because America's not normalized.
Yeah, it's normalized.
Sure.
Well, it's just part of the culture.
Yeah.
America is not normal. Not in the past 70 years. Post-World War II era
we're kind of weirdos.
Changed the United States because... What's that?
I said we're kind of weirdos, sorry.
Yeah. After World War II, America got into a position where the corporations, the military, and the government all just kind of merged into the same thing. America is a corporate culture. That if you watch Fallout, that's one of the beautiful things about that is that, yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's it. Very accurate. America's culture is very corporate. And there was a corporate uniculture that kind of held 50 different independent nations together. Because America's not one country, it's 50 of them in a federation with a bunch of different regional cultures, ethnic cultures all in there. Today, I just heard a British guy who's moved here. He's lived here for 20 years, and he was telling English guys that were talking about politics, and he goes, America's problems are not the same as Europe's problems. And eventually, when he was talking about it, he was saying, America is in a better position than Europe is in fucking long term because we have so much real estate here and the way the culture is and who's coming here and the Americas themselves. There isn't a big difference between Central and South America and North America. The cultural assumptions are very similar. If you have Central and South Americans moving into North America, it is not the cultural assumption that you can rape a woman. You can't do that in Central or South America either. They're all Catholics. So the cultural assumptions are the same. So the tensions here and the problems here are not as bad. There isn't a hatred because of religious differences that could happen in Europe when you have the Middle East moving in, because Islam is not friendly to Christianity at all. And I lived in the Middle East, and I have Arab and Muslim friends. It's just that there's a lot of different cultural assumptions. I forgot where I was going with all this, but the America is like is what he said. What he got around of saying, he says America, even though it seems like one country to the outside, it's more like a bunch of warring factions, each one of them pressing their own button of what it is they want when they vote. When they're voting for what they want. Boom! What they think is right. But there's about 50 different fucking things happening. So it's like a controlled chaos or an uncontrolled chaos. But that's the way America was born. So it's kind of like normal here. Europe evidently isn't like that. Europe has evolved to have kind of like cultural uniformity, but now there's more people moving in there that aren't like that, so it's causing a lot of problems. America's used to these kind of problems, but we don't have the exact same problems. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, we're a bunch of warring factions that aren't shooting each other. It's just the way it is.
DVD Dragon says, the love of a mistress is much different than that of a square.
Yeah, that's right. The love of a mistress is very different from that of a love of a square.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I get there are cultural differences and some people... Well, the weird thing about it is that even in the United States, it's not... I kind of feel like, particularly... I don't know if this is relevant anymore, but I do kind of feel like when I went to Europe or the UK in the 90s, there was still a perception that Americans were largely kind of puritanical. And a lot of them are. I'm not saying that they're not. There is a weird still strain of like Puritanism in the shit. But honestly, that's probably only about half the people.
Yeah.
Like the other people are just freaky as shit and like don't even care. So there's like all kind of... I mean, you can't really generalize because so many people come here. Like the country is just so vast and so diverse that it's like there's no way that you could pin it down to just like one thing, you know? So I kind of feel like in some circles, the mistress thing is probably very normalized.
Yeah.
I feel like largely that's mostly seen as kind of a bad thing. Or at least a thing where, you know, if you're cheating on your spouse, like they, you know, and you divorce them, everybody's like, yeah, fuck that dude or fuck that chick or whatever. Like, yeah, everybody would get that. But I do understand that it's a lot more normal in other cultures.
The South American mistress thing is not equivalent to the North American concept of cheating on your wife. That's different.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
The cheating on your wife is like an insult to your wife. The South American version of the mistress is more like you're taking care of your wife and your child. All right? Your wife, you're with your wife. You're doing your duty to make sure the family unity is good, okay? And that children are growing up and that bills are paid, and the wife of the man sees the mistress more as a helper.
Yeah.
More than a threat. She is relieving the wife of the additional work of having to fuck the dude. Yeah. That's really how it's seen. Because you're dealing with in the case of Central and South America, a Catholic civilization. Sex is not something that women are really supposed to be enjoying. It's more of a burden. That's the baseline. It's not true.
Well, no, it's not.
It's not true.
But that is a very Catholic
But that's mindset. A Catholic thinking.
And you kind of see it because there are a lot of Catholics in the U.S. too, and you do kind of see that mindset with them as well.
So, in a way, it's kind of like the woman is going like, yeah, well, he's fucking her. So that means I don't know how to fuck him. So, you know what I mean? Whew.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's a weight off my shoulders.
She's my helper. Right. That's how it is.
Taking some of the burden.
Right. But it makes more sense in a Central or in South American context of that marriage is not collaboration. You, as a woman, married this dude because he had the money you needed to survive and to move forward and to gain more status in life. Not because you loved him.
Right.
Not because you
it's a lot
wanted to suck his cock constantly. That's not why you married that dude.
Right.
It's more kind of like a business arrangement in a way. Doesn't necessarily mean you don't love the dude. You do, but the dynamic, the cultural dynamic is very different.
Yeah.
If shit like that were to go down here in America, it would be a threesome.
Yeah.
It would be that. But that happens in Central America and South America. It's just that the more acceptable version would be dude has a mistress. Now here's the thing. The wife also can fuck around as long as the husband doesn't know and as long as she doesn't get pregnant.
Yeah, as long as she's discreet about it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's pool boy action.
Right.
And that's usually a younger male. That happens.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Right.
I mean, if the dude's allowed to do it, then she is.
Yeah, she's 25 with a baby. Got her husband. She's 26 with her baby. Dude, she's fucking with 16, 17. That's, in South America, that's legal. It's usually like she's got side candy with some dude. It might be a chick.
Yeah.
You know. But no, when I was there as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, my major threat was married women in their fucking late 20s and early 30s. Yeah. They were predatory.
Yeah.
And very... And another thing is that in South American culture, male aggression is considered weakness. Men don't go chasing down women. It's the women that are predatory. Women kind of make themselves available. They're constantly this and that. A real alpha type dude, a dude who has power and
they'll just come to him.
Yeah, they just come to him. He just sits back like a lion.
That kind of actually that sort of makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's what's happening there. And they're like, and they're good people. It's just that they're very good. I fucking love Central and South Americans. It's just that now things may have changed. I'm talking about the 80s. Okay, so it's probably not. It may have become a little more modernized or a little more North American over time. I don't really know, but that was the baseline in the 80s. But no, a true Latin player didn't do anything. He would just look good and had a bunch of money and was extremely suave, and women were competing for him, you know. And he had resources and security and power. He was like Don Corleone, you know. He's a Don. He's a lord.
Yeah. And like I said, they would just come to him.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't debase himself.
Yeah. Why lower yourself to the neediness
I'm not going to like make an effort.
Yes.
That's so lame.
Yeah. But no, those dudes could deliver though.
Yeah.
They weren't.
But I'm just saying, it's just a different way of looking at it. And like I said, that makes slightly more sense to me than the reverse stuff.
Yeah. So the North American way of looking at it is the North American way is not the same as Central and South American. We might have them listening now. They can comment in. It's a different way. It's not wrong or anything like that. It's just a different way. Yeah.
All right, so are you ready to kind of...
We can go. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I got that stew, man.
I was like, weren't you making some stew earlier?
Yeah, you want me to make some rice with it? Or you just wanted to stew?
I mean, whatever.
Either that or I can put it on mashed potatoes.
I mean, mashed potatoes are always better than rice, I think.
You think so?
But
okay. All right.
That's how
I got it made.
All right, so it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 41 degrees Fahrenheit, in case you were wondering. So yeah, it's getting kind of cold. It's not as cold as it was last night, but it's getting down there. I'm excited about it. This is the only time the weather's nice that I like it. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on this Friday night Sidetracks show. Hopefully you guys were entertained for a few hours. As always, have a good rest of your night tonight. Have a good weekend, and we'll be back on Monday to do a movie review. Don't know what movie it is.Maybe we'll do Hard Candy, because a lot of people have asked about that. So maybe we'll do that on Monday, but I'm not promising anything, so we'll see. Whatever's we're in the mood for. All right, so have a good weekend, everybody. Good night.